Good afternoon, ladies and gents. Welcome to the first elimination match of the Premier League playoffs. Today we'll be taking a look at a lower bracket best of 5 between the Spire and Omega Gaming. For now, we start the stream as usual with another installment of Talking Otters. This Otter's name is Crewman44. Joining me on the damn desk today, we've got the stupendous Mr. Storm. Sorry I wasn't able to join you at last week, Storm. What were your highlights from that first week of playoffs?
I think most of last week's games, from what I saw, were pretty good. I was just finishing up watching the Kimchi cast on Sunday alongside Chong, but Saturday's games, definitely an upset kind of in game one. That was nice to see a series go the full three for that series. I think the Spire showed some good signs of life in some ways that series, that there was some of, the top lane picks coming back. I don't think they're quite back in their top form when they were so dominant, but I think there's a chance for them in this series. They're not slipping and sliding as much as they have been. So that was fantastic to see.
That is great to hear. Yeah, I was definitely very happy to see that we got a couple of 3 gamers last week. Seemed relatively competitive. So fantastic stuff. We have one representative from each team this evening. If you two would like to introduce yourselves, starting with you, Saren, just, name, IGN, role, and then, what you've been up to so far today, maybe.
Oh, gosh. Yeah, I mean, hi, I'm Saren. I'm the guy who's been here, I think, 5 times at this point because I love doing content. Bully, start paying me anyway. I am the mid laner for Omega Gaming. I am unfortunately not joined by Jay Young this time. And I've honestly, today alone, I've just been kind of grinding solo queue and just kind of getting back into the swing of things. Enjoyed the week-long vacay.
Yeah, excellent, excellent. And then, of course, Mr. Witch.
Hola, I'm the co-owner of the Spire, coach / draft planner for our premier team. And I just got off work, so I'm decompressing right now. So,
yeah. What better way to decompress than a nice, relaxing episode of Otter Talk, right?
Exactly.
Very glad you're able to join us today, Witch. And the fact that we have one representative from each team that we're going to be spectating in a little bit, I just think is super awesome. But let's go ahead and start, if we could, with a little bit of a review of those matches that did happen last week. We were already touching on that a little bit, mentioning that both of them did look, relatively competitive. Which you guys, the Spire, you guys did take that game number 1 off of TSI. Storm was talking a little bit about how he was liking the draft direction, particularly in the top lane. There were some pretty cool things getting brought out. But as you reflect on that match, Which, how do you feel about, specifically the game 1, where you guys were able to get that win, and then ultimately, what didn't really end up going right for you guys to where you weren't actually able to get the match victory?
I think that game 2 we just kind of drafted not our style, and so it kind of threw us off. And then it actually didn't catch it on the stream, but in game 3, our AD carry actually disconnected in one of the key fights, and it changed it actually quite dramatically.
Yeah.
So it was a bit unfortunate because he was standing still for 7 seconds of the fight, but it happens. It's part of the game. It was an unfortunate thing, but it's all right.
Just amateur things, I guess. Yeah, that is.
And I mean, you were playing as well last week, right? So.
Yeah, I mean, I was a detriment to the team, to be honest. I don't play mid all that much. I was just trying to bring the vibes.
The Ari was pretty clean. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just I'm going down 40 CS. I'm just there to create space and cause action on the map. You know what I mean? So that was my goal.
Yeah, absolutely. Saren, did you get a chance to watch those games? Do a little scouting?
No, I was not watching them. I think the rest of my team did get an opportunity to watch them. I was too busy doing other things last weekend. I do apologize for not tuning in.
No worries, no worries. So I guess, Storm, anything else you really wanted to highlight from that match, TSI versus the Spire?
Not really. I was just more happy to see that the Spire was, which was starting to draft more towards their top laner. I think that was a big swing for you guys. I'm hoping we're going to continue to see that in some ways. I saw you guys decided to take red side first pick, which I'm a big proprietor of as a top laner myself. Red side all the way, baby. Um, but yeah, I think this should be a great series tonight. I think the really interesting thing will be like that it is our full fearless best of 5, right? So like
Yeah.
there's the full bans. It's not like, an Emerald or something where you're saying that it's like, game 5, oh, there's no bans anymore. Or like game 4, you only have your first round of bans. This is full bans in every single round. So
Yeah.
it is like that thing now that it's like if someone does have that one pick that you were like, I refuse to play against, Mages Varus or something like that. I'm just throwing that out there, right? You can ban it all 5 games if you want to, if it does go the full distance. And it starts getting to that thing of like, if a series does drag on, like how deep do people's champion pools go? Because most people, like even myself included, right? You have a definitive like top 3 champions that you practice and play a lot. And once you start like getting down, it's the weird drafts come out. And I'm really excited to see if there's like any huge adaptations in the draft. I think it'll be really interesting.
Yeah, it's going to be really cool for sure. I mean, last season, we had Fearless, but it wasn't the full Fearless. There was the reduced bans for games 4 and 5 to kind of mitigate a little bit of that effect. So there were like more champions available for people in those later games. But yeah, full Fearless this time around. So if this series does go the distance, it's going to be really, really fun to see, who's kind of able to outmaneuver with the more limited options later on. But let's briefly discuss the other playoff match that happened last week as well. Elysium able to get that 2-1 victory over Dorado. I am mildly surprised, actually, that Dorado were able to get that game 1 victory. I thought Elysium were looking quite strong heading into playoffs. They certainly weren't, totally dominant this season or anything like that. But
I mean, I just finished watching it. They should have won game 2. The reason they lost that was like incredible to watch. Like they had Ocean. Yeah, they had Ocean Soul and had Baron at 2k health and turned off of it to lose a fight 5v4 and give away Baron.
Oof, that's another big oof.
Yeah, like that series I really feel like should have been a 2-0. Like I don't know, no one else I think here was from the cast or anything, but like yeah, Elysium was playing like a full like scaling draft team comp and Dorado had like this huge lead. And then just peeled off of a Baron and lost a couple of fights in a row and just like threw the game over completely. So that series I think was really, really close. I'm expecting Dorado. I'm sure we'll get into our predictions here, but I think Dorado is looking really, really scary in this lower bracket.
Okay. Yeah, did you watch that match, Elysium versus Dorado last week?
I only caught the first game. So I didn't catch the other 2, but in general, like it's just really, I think it's dependent on how Dorado come out whenever it comes out to draft and stuff like that. Like obviously they have Jake, right? So I think that if you set him up to be in a good spot and we're not actively like playing kind of silly on the map at certain points, I think that he has a lot of potential to actually like bring them to victories in a lot of the games, so.
Yeah, makes sense. Dorado definitely been ramping up in a big way. So cool to see that they are really coming to form at the right time. That is going to be super exciting if they can make that run all the way through the lower bracket. But, obviously they're going to have to get through the Monkeys. That's their next matchup. One that, most likely, I think pretty much everybody is going to be favoring Dorado in that one, I imagine. I guess we could transition over to predictions now. Here we go. Thank you, Wookie. 3-0s for 3 of us, and then Witch going for the 3-2 prediction. Tell us about it.
I just think that it's gonna be closer than what we think. I think that the Monkeys, yes, like I think they've had moments where they've looked not particularly great, but I think that whenever it comes to, as I said, we're going into the best of like 5 format rather than the best of 3.
Yeah.
We get into these really, really scrappy drafts and stuff like that, and a lot of people are on champs that they're not explicitly comfy on, you know what I mean? So I think that it's going to be scrappy and going to be a bit bloody, so I think that's why it's going to be a 3-2.
Interesting. So then do you feel like in situations like that, in like scrappier games, where people, maybe aren't quite as comfortable. Do you feel like the Monkeys are just like the kind of team that really benefits from that, or are you coming at that prediction more from a perspective of like literally anything could happen?
No, I think the monkeys do thrive in like a bit of more of a chaotic game state because I don't think that they're as streamlined as a lot of the other teams whenever it comes to like setting up for objectives and stuff like that. I think that we've seen that from a lot of their gameplay. But if it comes down to where like it just innately each draft have to kind of scrap, I think they have like a little bit of an edge sometimes.
Interesting. Well, Saren, you have the 3-0 prediction there. What are your thoughts on kind of Witch's take? And, why are you predicting the Monkeys to not be able to get a game victory?
Well, crewman, as Literal Monkey's #1 defender.
Right, of course. From week number 7, Otter Talk,
Yes.
for those of us who don't remember.
As a former only person who believed in them, I can't believe in them again. I'm not going to give them my buff. As much as I would love for a 5-game series, because I think the content would be fantastic, I think if I had to put a score on it, it's going to be 3-0. I think that Dorado is... I think they're just kind of outclassed in all truths.
You mean the Monkeys are
Yeah.
outclassed?
Yeah.
I'm just gonna kind of chime in with my thoughts on that. Is like I feel like both these teams are very much more towards like the scrappy and let's get an early game lead and let's play for skirmishing and not full team fights, is like how both Dorado and the Monkeys play. I think is fair to say. That there's a lot of action on the map and a lot of like early game and stuff like that. And I think Dorado is way better at it than the Monkeys are. That they are the team that's gonna come out with a gold lead. I think top lane will be the biggest mismatch technically in this game. I think Troublekill has had some really great games this season, and I don't think Baxel has had very many. So that's kind of where I think there's going to be like a huge misstep on the top side of the map for Dorado, and I think it's going to be a big benefit for them. Also in the bot lane, Jake has been amazing, whereas Gumi has, been much more playing towards the utility side of ADC as well. So that could be an issue as well for them. So I think it's going to be a 3-0. I don't think tomorrow's games are going to be very close, to be honest.
Interesting. So it sounds like you almost have like the exact opposite take as Witch, where you're saying that like it's actually Dorado who really flourishes in those kind of messier games where things get really scrappy and just comes down to like raw hands a lot of the time.
Yeah, I definitely feel that way, especially because this Dorado roster hasn't been together very much, right? I think this roster like came together in like week 5 or so.
Yeah.
So
definitely a lot of changes over the course of the season for sure. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see. Perhaps the Monkeys can make an upset happen. It definitely does, based on the fact that Dorado were able to make that their playoff match this past week pretty competitive against Elysium. And we're almost able to win Storm, like you were just mentioning earlier, does seem to indicate that they are pretty heavily favored going into that matchup against the Monkeys. But we'll have to wait and see. Storm, would you like to lead the discussion for today's matchup?
Yeah, so this is, of course, we have a split vote because we have representatives from both sides. So I'm very interested to hear everyone's take on that. So I think this matchup's going to be very interesting for a couple of reasons. The number one thing, so I'll reveal it now, is that Poopsock Bossman is not playing today for the Spire. Instead, it is Big Bank Hank, I think is what Boostus has changed their name to.
Oh, is that Boostus?
Yes, Which confirmed that, right? Which?
Yep, it is. Yep.
Yeah, that is Boostus. Okay. So a pretty big name sub still coming in. So it's not like it's some random dude just coming in who I'm like, who the heck is that? Is a good player. I think it'll be interesting to see because we had talked about, and I had said this, right, that a lot of the Spire's team comps and everything felt like that were very much becoming, it's completely on Poopsock, the whole game's on them, things like that. We started to see them shying away from that a little bit last week, and I think it was a great way for them to play. I think that's why they were able to get that game win in game 1. Was a lot of, denial playing really well and things like that. So I think that The Spire definitely has a chance in this series. I don't think it's going to be as one-sided. I'm very much a thing of, I think this series is going to be very, very swingy. I think a team's going to win and they're going to win another game off of that. The momentum is going to be a huge part of this series. Um, I just feel like both of these teams definitely have like that kind of like factor of like when they're feeling themselves, they play better, right? Like when we watched that Omega team in the beginning, Saren, right? When you guys weren't winning games, like you weren't on Otter Talk, there was some bad mental going on, I think is fair to say, wouldn't you?
Oh God! Call me out right on it.
Yeah.
I mean,
We'll get to win.
the truth is the truth. We were definitely struggling at the beginning of the season, but we do thrive on momentum.
Yeah.
Once we like start getting things going, we get more relaxed. The games get easier, so on and so forth.
Yeah, so I feel like that's definitely gonna like come back. Like you guys had like that fantastic coming back into the series and everything, and there was like definitely some more free games I would say in there. And there's definitely more relaxed and like more fun, like that Kog'Maw game. I'm gonna keep calling it out. Don't worry, Saren. But yeah, I feel like that's a big thing for both Omega and I think for the Spire as well, right? When the Spire was winning so hard, it was witch drafting and just saying we are going to play better than everyone else and showcase, and the team showcased that, right? Like those Caitlyn Lux lanes were absolutely thrashing people and things like that. So I think momentum's going to be a huge part of this series, and I think whichever team wins game 1 is going to win game 2. And then there's going to be some sort of upset game 3, and then I think whatever team is going to close it out. So I do have Omega because I just think, they have figured out their roster, right? They're together. Even though Boostus is a fantastic sub to have coming in, there's still a sub coming in. So that I think might be a bit of an issue. I think the jungle matchup is also going to be the kind of key thing for me, right? Omega, generally Caxi is very much a playmaker and playing much more towards the tank style jungle and things like that, whereas Notoriety has shown that they are able to like play more aggressively and things like that, and is often more placed on fighters towards like the Xin Zhao and things like that. So I think that's going to be where a huge amount of this game comes from is, can Notoriety get something done before Caxi is able to, kind of outscale him or become more useful in team fights and things like that. So that's where my real thought and things about this is I think Omega is going to play together better as a team, and that's why I have them winning 3-1.
I see. Yeah, I mean, as you guys may notice, I also have the 3-1 Omega prediction there. I definitely agree with you, Storm, in the sense that I do think that momentum is going to be pretty big here as well. I feel like both of these teams, it's hard to really know for sure. That's why we have our amazing members of each team here to shed a little bit of insight on these sorts of things. But I feel like both teams are somewhat emotional, right? Where they really kind of thrive on when they're doing well. They're able to build on that really effectively. But when these teams aren't doing well, then they can really struggle to kind of break out of that. We've seen like a lot of variance from both Omega and the Spire over the course of this season. And, for the basis of my prediction is really just, I feel like we've seen more strong performances from Omega more recently. So yeah, it just feels like they kind of have the momentum going into this series. The fact that the Spire did get that game in their first playoff match week, that is definitely really good for them, because they had lost 4 straight games, I believe, at the end of the round robin. So they're at least able to like get one on the board there. But I still feel like more recently Omega has been on better form. But I definitely could see that completely flipping on its head today. I think it really is just going to come down to the form of both of these teams on the day, and who shows up and is really able to get things rolling in a positive direction. But Witch, let's hear from you now. Obviously we talked a little bit about Omega already, how they were like really, really struggling at the beginning of the season. They found a little bit more form recently, and it's kind of the opposite story for your squad, right? Where you guys were absolutely dominating at the beginning of the season. You won like 7 games in a row, I believe it was, your first 7 games. But then towards the end of the season, you're struggling a little bit more. So talk to us, about the mental state of the team kind of going into this match? Anything specific that you were focusing on, either in regards to yourselves or in regards to Omega coming into this one? And obviously you're predicting yourself to win, but anything you'd like to share about how you think the series is going to play out?
I think that in general, like when we restarted the split, we had been practicing as a team for like a decent amount of time. So I think going into it, like a lot of the teams were just warming up. So I think that also like kind of led to our edge at the beginning. And then as the season was going on, like we were trying more stuff, and that kind of led to us, you know, differentiating and like potentially like losing games and stuff like that. So going into like the playoffs and stuff like that, I mean, we did take a game off of, TSI with me as mid, which is, I think telling because I don't think I'm the best mid laner, but I genuinely think that going into this, we're going to be locked in how we want to actually play and our style, and I think it'll show in our gameplay tonight.
Okay. Do you have any more specific thoughts about NBK, and then we'll sort of transition into Saren, his thoughts on NBK?
Like me versus like playing him last week, or
Yeah.
I think that he's a particularly good laner. I mean, as you can, in game 3, he was zoning me off of the wave and stuff like that, because it was very obvious that he knows how to manipulate the wave a lot better than me, who play the mid lane role all that much. So I think that he's a good player as long as he's on scaling mages. But if he's on something that actually has to create pressure on the map, I think that you can really utilize that against him, to be honest.
Okay, interesting. Saren, so transitioning over to you now, starting with thoughts on NBK. You guys went up against Team Solo Invade. That was your matchup in week 7, I do believe.
It was.
Yeah. So talk to me a little bit about what happened there and your thoughts on him in general, and then sort of transitioning that into your matchup against Big Sugar tonight.
Yeah, I mean, to start off with MVK, I mean, I'll say it like it is. I said it in BOL General the second he got added back to the main roster, is that MVK is unfortunately my kryptonite. The man knows how to play safe. His team knows how to play around him, and unfortunately, I'm a mid laner who, with the soul of a top laner, I want to fight. I want to get in someone's face and like trade with them, and a lot of the times it comes to my detriment. And unfortunately, as was exposed the last time, NVK is the kind of player who can sit back and wait, and then the second that any of his team is nearby, will kill you repeatedly. And I got better about ego checking him game 2, but it was a nightmare of a game 1. Going into tonight, I mean, I do honestly think I needed the ego check a little bit, just to kind of knock me down a few pegs. I think it's easy to kind of get in your own head and start playing really chaotic, especially if you're like doing well and you're coming off a weeks where you're like, oh man, we won 2-0, we won 2-0, we won 2-0. Even if it was in ways that we weren't happy about, you can kind of get in your own, like you can kind of get full of yourself, and I was definitely noticing that. So in a way, thanks to TSI for bringing me back to earth. And
There you go.
I mean, I'm excited to face Big Sugar again. I feel like I didn't have the best performance the last time we faced, and I'm excited to have another opportunity.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's something we should briefly touch on as well. It was a long time ago, the previous meeting between your two teams, all the way back in week 1. It was the first matchup for each of you this season was one another. So Saren, since you brought it up, obviously that didn't go so well for your squad. So anything you remember, any takeaways that you guys had from that match all the way back in week 1, and any key things that you're looking to make different in the match tonight?
Yeah, we'll start off with the obvious one. I mean, God, I love Matty. He's a great ADC. I'm so glad you're not our support anymore. I love you, dude.
Brother,
but...
I was not gonna say anything, but I mean, you did not have a support that series. I'm gonna keep it real.
I love Maddie, but I still have nightmares of the Mel support from that game. Uh, Jae Young is outside of being one of the funniest players I've ever played with, has been a fantastic addition to the team. We all get along super well, and I'm very excited to come along. And hey, if Maddie has to show up in ADC again, we always have that guy as a backup for us.
Sure, sure. So, I mean, I feel like Strawberry has been pretty consistent this season as well. Anything in particular that you think we should be expecting from that support matchup tonight, Saren?
Oh God, do I get ego? You know what? It's content. It's time to get
Yeah,
egotistical. I mean,
there it is.
Jae Young clears. Jae Young, I think,
Young.
is one of, if not the best supports in the league, and I think I'm willing to put myself out there that Jae Young is going to beat the tar off of Strawberry Frog.
Okay, okay. Strong words. Which, your rebuttal?
I mean, there's a reason why Strawberry
Oh,
Frog
thank
has
you.
gotten a lot of MVPs or most valuable players and stuff like that. Whenever he's gone into our games and stuff, he's really, really reliable. I think in general, I actually don't think that the matchup that is going to be looked at the most this series is going to be the support matchup. I genuinely think that it will be like a mid jungle eccentric gameplay.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
You
Yeah,
wouldn't be
'cause
saying that because... Oh, go ahead, Storm.
I was gonna kind of chime in with this because how I feel like generally, Omega takes support almost always in their later rotation of their drafts, right? That Jae Young is kind of always the glue to make the team work and kind of consolidate it, right? There's like those late game Renatas or the late game Janna or the Soraka pick comes in or there's an engaged champion or something like that. But Jae Young generally is like a really important piece of the whole draft for Omega and is like something is like almost gets a focus point, I feel. Whereas Strawberry is just always a supporter piece that they're taken very early. It's like a round one, round two thing always with the ADC is how I felt that Spire did it. So I don't think the actual like matchup between the two of these two is going to be that big of like an actual deal like Witch was saying. I think it's going to be Strawberry's going to pick early and then Jae Young's going to pick some sort of counter into it or like a team-wide counter. I don't think again the bot lane is going to be the primary focus this game. I'm kind of agreeing. I think it's really going to be a lot about this like jungle mid.
Interesting, interesting. Well, we're taking a look at the stats between these two supports here. As we can see, most of these stats are actually favoring Strawberry Frog. Obviously, goal difference and CSD at 15 for supports are pretty irrelevant stats. But yeah, I'm not really too sure what to make of these stats, to be honest. You can see a slightly higher vision score there for Jay. But yeah, it definitely feels like the impact of these supports isn't really represented very well in the stats, to be honest.
Yeah, I would kind of say the vision score is like the thing as a support I look at the most.
Sure,
It's like something very, very important. And like you want to be somewhere around 3. That's like the amazing support vision score number is like you're dominating that stat. So I think Jae Young being a lot higher than that is like a pretty big deal for than a Strawberry is. But again, it's one of those things that Strawberry is playing stuff like Lux and whatnot. And when you are behind playing those champions, you don't get to have a good vision score because you cannot face check bushes.
Fair enough. Yeah, as he plays more for the lane, right? And so then those
Yeah.
champions later on in the game can struggle to, yeah, absolutely. But let's go ahead and turn the discussion more towards, because you guys are all actually in agreement. I was kind of expecting, I was going to have a magnifying glass on the bot lane tonight, just because I feel like both the Spire and Omega have relied on their bot lanes really heavily this season. But it seems like I'm the only one who kind of feels that way. You guys all seem to be in agreement that mid jungle is really going to be the main story this evening. So, Saren, obviously as a half of that equation, right? The mid in the mid jungle. What are your thoughts, in regards to overall strategy going into this matchup? The matchup against obviously Notoriety and Big Sugar there. What you're expecting from them, and just what you think we should be anticipating.
I touched on it a little bit during my discussion of TSI, but like
Mhm.
I've definitely had to reel myself in the last week or so, and I think it's really helped. We've been scrimming as a team quite a bit, and just kind of working on some new tools that we have. Maybe things that'll be picked up. Uh, Unfortunately, I am not allowed to play the fish tonight as much as I would love to, unless
Boo.
listen. Lesser will never let me play the fish until these buffs come out. Then I can convince him. So I need to win tonight. um, nah, like I think the analysis is accurate. The thing about the Omega bot lane is that it is like we're definitely I always know that they're going to do well. It is very rare that I see both Jay Young and Maj completely shut out of a game. Even when they're just getting like funneled down with 4 people, they can stabilize themselves and get back into the game. Between me and Caxi, I think it's our job to make sure things are happening on the map, to make sure that like our kind of uh, our powerhouse in the top lane in Perspicacious gets online and starts running over the game. Because when you're playing with kind of a more feast or famine player, you want to make sure they're feasting.
Yeah, makes a lot of sense. That yeah, completely makes sense. That you guys kind of it's your and Caxi's responsibility to get the game into a state where Madge, Jay, and Perspicacious can all have that big impact that we've been able to see from them, right? So definitely makes a lot of sense. And then which, for your side of things, for Big Sugar and Notoriety, do you feel like those two kind of play a somewhat similar role in your team as well, where they're kind of the main drivers of action in the game and trying to manipulate the game state in such a way that it allows your bot lane and your top lane to really do more of the heavy lifting? Or do you feel like Big Sugar and Notoriety have somewhat of a different role?
I genuinely think that like we have a good distribution across the games and stuff like that, as kind of Storm pointed out in our last series, where our top lane was actively we're actively working towards like putting him on stuff that's advantageous and stuff like that. So I think that as a group we've been working together to be on the same page about stuff. I just think that in this series particularly, like I think that mid jungle is going to be causing a lot of the stuff happening on the map for both teams, specifically in this matchup, and I think that we just have the edge, to be honest. So
All right. Well, taking a look at some stats between the mid laners at the moment, and unfortunately, Sarah, you're kind of getting blown out in the KDA department there. A little bit unfortunate, but you do have a much higher CSD at 15, so that is working for you.
Yeah,
That's what happens when you're
these
a
are
content
regular
player.
season stats, right? I believe, because it's not fact. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
But,
what happens when you're a content player, man. Sometimes sometimes you gotta look at yourself with your 7 death Kog'Maw, and you're like, man, I could go for another.
Yeah, where's the damage stats? That Kog'Maw gain, it must have bumped the like damage per gold up a little bit or something like that. I don't know.
Listen, you got to utilize the passive. Like you
Exactly.
can't not
Yeah.
utilize it.
100%. So which, yeah, I believe you mentioned earlier you're hoping to see the Kog'Maw as well, right? Because you really
course.
want Big Sugar to be tested. You want like the maximum level of competition. You really want to make sure you earn your spot in that next round of playoffs, right? And getting through Saren's Kog'Maw would be, I mean, what greater test could there be? So we'll have to see if that does end up coming out. Maybe we could peruse the jungle stats as well, if we want to taxi over to some Caxi stats. You guys like that one?
Yeah, that was a good transition.
Yeah? Okay. Yeah, I wasn't sure, but I just had to go for it.
Oh. Dang.
Yeah, and you were discussing, these two players a little bit earlier on as well, Storm, right? And I think you had a very fair assessment of them. Caxi, definitely, I describe him as like a defensive jungler, as somebody who wants to protect his lanes, somebody who wants to do the dirty work, basically, of engaging the team fights, making sure that his team is set up for success in that way. Whereas Notoriety definitely feels like he, in general, has a little bit more agency in the early game in terms of like if he wants to go for aggressive plays. I feel like that's something we don't see as often from Caxi and more often from Notoriety. Can definitely sort of find ways to get his team in advantaged situations, often by himself getting really strong, right? So that is, I think, somewhat represented here, both KDA and kill participation, a little bit higher for Notoriety. But Caxi got the edge in the vision score. He's the facilitator. He's setting up his team. He's making sure that they have all of the information to make informed decisions and actually win in the fights when it really matters. So also Caxi has had some very notable Baron steals this season.
Those have been crazy. Those have been good.
Definitely another pro in the Caxi pros column. But Which let's hear from you a little bit more. You were talking a little bit already about how you're expecting Notoriety to really be the driving force in the games, right, for your squad. Anything in particular that you feel like from Caxi you're really going to be needing to watch out for?
I think Caxi is just like if I were to put like a tier list for like Emerald junglers and stuff like that, is that like he's like the standard to beat. You know what I mean? That's the way that I would phrase it. I think that he's very streamlined in the way that he wants to operate and play the game, but I think that he's a overall good Emerald jungler. So just based off of that, I think that you can determine how he wants to play the game and what he wants to do, and I think that we can abuse that. So.
Okay. So thinking he's kind of predictable. Interesting. Did you want to jump in, Storm?
Yeah, I am just gonna say it. Like, even though Caxi for like our league is generally playing things like the Samumu and stuff, like I'm looking at his like solo queue record, and it's mostly like Viego and Pantheon, right? Like, it's not like he's only going to play tank junglers. It's just generally how Omega operates and how Caxi operates.
I think if it's comfort onto it too. Like, it is. So
yeah, it is comfort, but it's like if the game calls for it or something, they can put him onto a carry. Like, he is practice on them, so it's not just like a generic black or white statement when we're talking about Caxi and stuff like that. And it's like for every player in the league, right? Like, Saren, I'm sure you would hate yourself for doing it, but maybe you get put onto Morgana mid one game or something, right? Like, there's the possibility that happens.
Thoughts?
I mean, I won't deny that I think the champion is good.
Yeah.
Like, champion got buffed, champion's good. I don't know what you want me to say.
Yeah, exactly.
Like to kind of jump into a slight analysis of my own team. Caxi and Jaeyoung kind of like form the core of our comms. They are the ones primarily facilitating and making the shot calls. We just kind of follow what they say. And it's really, that's kind of what those two bring to the team primarily, is they are the like in-time analysis and decision makers. Like, I'm a mid laner, man. Me push waves, me do damage.
Man, bro, why are you not in top lane?
That was such
boring.
I feel like that was such an accurate and like thing for you to say earlier. A mid laner with the soul of a top laner. I was just like, that feels like you're very self-aware, which I obviously appreciate. But Saren as well. We just asked Witch his thoughts on Caxi. Your thoughts on Notoriety now? Anything in particular with Notoriety's play that you guys have been assessing, or anything you think you're going to be looking out for tonight in particular?
Nothing unexpected. I think Notoriety is a good player. I think he's a very solid jungler. I think him and Caxi provide two very different things, and for me, it's just being aware of how Notoriety wants to assess the map and just how much danger I'm in at a given time to see just how egotistical I'm allowed to be.
Makes sense. So he's kind of reining you in sometimes, is what I'm getting.
In a way, I have to be aware of it. Otherwise, I will end up 0-7 trying to fight people still. The old LPL strat.
So here's my question: there's obviously some people playing in this series tonight that are definitely more inclined to play one champion. with Notoriety having 477 games of Lilia this season.
Yeah.
Is that one going through, or is that one getting banned for 5 games? Because I feel like you can say the same thing about Perspicacious and the Alawi, right?
Man, I'm not telling you our draft strat.
Okay, all right, sorry. I just figured that was just that. I didn't think that one was a big leak or anything. I feel like that one's that's on the ban table for 5 games. But
DM Lester, he'll tell you. Otherwise,
Okay.
I can't tell you. I don't know the
All
draft strat.
Yeah, I don't actually know, but I'm fairly confident that Lilia has actually been banned against the Spire every single game this season. I'm
It
not
has.
100% sure. Yeah.
yeah, it has. Yeah.
Yeah. So probably a pretty safe bet. But yeah, that jungle matchup is definitely going to be an exciting one to watch out for. Now, if we could just pull up the bracket one more time, I'm going to ask you guys to talk just a little bit about what we might be expecting from that upper bracket upper bracket final, I guess, technically, between Team Solo Invade and Elysium. You know, obviously we didn't prepare predictions for that match because it is happening next week as opposed to this week. But just in case we don't hear from you guys, Saren, what are your thoughts about that matchup?
It's hard to say because I am unfortunately a known quantity for voting for the thing that benefits me the most. But in this case, it's kind of like a toss up, assuming we get to lower finals. But oh gosh, I want to say if Elysium keeps playing like they do, they're going to win, and we're gonna face up against TSI in the lower finals.
Yeah, it's interesting, right? I definitely had Elysium pegged as the strongest team before the season started, and then they kind of like struggled a little bit early on and didn't look as formidable as I was expecting, and now they've kind of been able to get to that point where they're kind of the favorites, you know, certainly not an undisputed number one, but certainly one of the stronger teams at this point, I think, in the league based on what we've seen so far. So, but Witch, your thoughts on that matchup? Who do you reckon is going to take that upper bracket final?
I think NBK and Watercat are very similar players in the way that they want to operate, like very consistent, kind of what's the word, like scaling, want to play their scaling picks and stuff like that. So I genuinely think that whoever has the better day is going to come out on top for the squad. I think that it would be interesting to for TSI to lose and for us to eventually play them. So I'm hoping that Elysium actually, I think it'll be like a close match, but I don't think it'll be a 3-2 like Elysium. That's my prediction for it.
Interesting. Yeah, I mean, obviously, both of you guys have a little bit of a bone to pick with Team Solo Invade, so I'm sure both of you are hoping to get a chance for some revenge. But you're, you know, in both cases, gonna have to win a couple of matches to actually even get a chance to get that rematch. We'll have to see how that goes. Storm, you want to toss in a prediction for that upper bracket final?
I feel like we can wait for next week. I feel like it's safe to say there'll be Otter talk next week.
Yeah, we'll definitely hear from you, right?
Yeah.
So I feel good about that. So let's just transition over to some shout-outs now. Saren, back again. We appreciate you being here as always. Your shout-outs, please.
Yeah, I mean, shout-outs to y'all. It's been fun being on here week after week after week. If this is my last week because I go out to the Spire, so be it. But cheers to that. Other than that, shout-outs to the members of the team that I know are currently watching. And shout out to Lesser. Please let me play Fizz. I promise you the buffs are good enough. Please.
Hey, maybe game 5 could happen.
Not this week.
Oh, okay. All right. Definitely not this week. So don't bother banning that Witch. Definitely not going to happen.
No problem.
Your shout outs, please, Mr. Witch.
Thank you guys again for putting on like a good production and obviously the league and stuff. I appreciate it. You guys always. And then just shout outs to my team overall. I think that I've appreciated like coaching them and them being like willing to like hear me out on how I want to like progress a game and stuff like that. And I know that I could be a little bit hard-headed sometimes, but everyone's a good sport about how we want to operate, and I genuinely appreciate all of them.
Fantastic. Happy to hear that. Yeah, I've very much been enjoying watching the Witch coaching arc definitely we've seen some amazing drafts from you. There have also been a couple of drafts that left us scratching our head a little bit, but I've very much enjoyed your adventure in the coaching. So best of luck to both of you guys in the match tonight. Again, appreciate you very much for joining us for the podcast. Don't go anywhere, guys. We'll be right back with the lower bracket semifinal between the Spire and Omega Gaming. All right, folks, welcome back. It is now time for today's main event, Spire versus Omega Gaming in a best of 5 to start a potential lower bracket run. It has been a tumultuous season for both of these teams, to say the least. The Spire finished the round robin in 4th place. They had an amazing start to the season, winning their first 7 consecutive games before finally dropping 1 Nexus to Team Solo Invade in Week 4. The first real sign of weakness came in Week 5 with their first match loss against Elysium, and they have continued to struggle since then, going 0-4 across Weeks 6 and 7, and then losing their first playoff match last week, 1-2 versus TSI again, including a Game 2 defeat that was particularly brutal. On the other side of the rift today, Omega Gaming have had almost the exact opposite trajectory. They were getting crushed at the beginning of the season, losing their first 3 matches. Then in Week 4, they brought in Jay Young at support, went on a 6-game winning streak. Looks like they had completely turned things around. Then they had the opportunity to secure a top 4 finish in Week 7, but were unable to get it done against Team Solo Invade, thus ending in 5th place and forced to start the postseason here in the lower bracket. So, both teams wildly inconsistent this season. I am intensely curious to see what kind of form they will show us tonight. Winner secures top 4 in the tournament. Loser's season will end here. Storm, expectations heading into this one.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of expectations on both of these teams. Like you said, Omega is very much a team that has been revitalized by their bot lane play. Maj and Jae Young. Maj, even before Jae Young came in, was easily the best performing player on that team. In their weeks where they looked lost, he was the lone kind of bright spot on the team, it would almost be fair to say. And Jae Young has just unlocked that potential even more. They've had so many fantastic games playing on Hitveris. That's something I feel like you, as the Spire, have to have a plan for, or it might just be one of those things of, give it away and let's see what's going to happen, have a plan to counter it or something. But I don't think that's just like a nothing pick. Jae Young, again, has been incredible at support, playing lots of things we're not seeing from most supports this league. Most of the supports in our league are leaning towards being secondary engaged for their team on things like Alistar and things like that, just how the meta is shaping up. Whereas Jae Young is doing his own thing. It's the Sorakas, the Renata Glass, it's whatever his team needs and the kind of focus around it. And yeah, it's just kind of the interesting thing. Can the rest of Omega step up as well as they should? That, Perspicacious has looked great on Alawi, I think it's fair to say, in the couple of games that they've had it, since the buffs aren't disastrous anymore and the champion's actually playable, has looked good on it. Have they looked great on a lot of other things? I don't think so. They've had some games where they've looked good. Like I remember their Urgot game that we casted was pretty good, but just a lot of other games where it's been kind of rough in the top lane. Saren in the mid lane is very much someone who's going to skill check his opponents and has had games where he's been at the top of this team, and there's games where he's not playing up to his own standards, I think would be the nice way to put it. Like against NBK, right? I'm going to skill check you, and then would get ganked by 3 people and die. And that happened, I think, 4 times in a row. And then it was like, okay, I've learned my lesson now. But at that point, it's too late, right? So this whole Omega thing, it's can their mental carry through and everything like that. That's why I think these first couple of games of this series are going to be so important. I think, and the Spire is a team that are kind of the opposite, right? They were all in on their bot lane. They have poop socks out. We can't rely on the poop sock 1v9 this game. It is physically impossible. Yep. So Boostus, or whatever they have renamed themselves to, I'm sorry, Hank or whatever it is. Yeah. Big Bank Hank, something like that. Boostus is a better name, bro. I'm sorry to break it to you.
Bring back Boostus. We're going to start a petition.
Yeah.
Maybe he'll be able to bring us around with the gameplay tonight. But that is a big thing that we need to talk about a little bit as well, right? The fact that, Poopsock has arguably been the strongest performer on the Spire this season. At the very least, I think their most consistent performer. And the fact that he's not here tonight, it definitely feels like a big blow for that squad. And, the fact that they've been struggling so much recently as well. Maybe if you're coping a little bit as a Spire fan, maybe you're like, Well, Poop Sock has been good, but like we've been struggling recently in general. So maybe his mental has taken a little bit of a beating, and so we're bringing in like some fresh blood, somebody who like doesn't have any of that baggage, right? And is just going to be
Yeah.
able to come in fresh, basically, and maybe that is going to be a boon for Boostus, aka Hank. But we're into this first draft, guys, as you can see. So I believe it was, do you know who had side selection, Storm? I forget.
The Spire selected red. Yes.
That's right. That's right. So they're going to choose to start on the red side. Lilia, Vladimir, and Amumu going to be banned away by Omega. The Amumu ban in particular, pretty interesting for me. And then the Spire going to ban away the Alawi, the Viego, and the Maokai. So really targeting Caxi a little bit, as well as that Alawi that does have to be taken away from Perspicacious. We are going to see that Wukong now come through on the B1.
Yeah, I mean, still a really strong jungler despite the nerfs. Volibear getting considered here, I think, for the Spire. Guessing that will be the jungle answer as well. Is technically always a flex to top lane, right? But is just so much stronger down in the bot lane. And it's just kind of this thing now, right? We're talking that, Caxi isn't always just playing these, engage tank, set up the team to win. Wukong kind of his more aggressive pick, I would say. I'm pretty sure we've seen this a couple of times for them, but it is still that thing that can be the engage for his team. And this is already a different look from the Spire, right? That's a utility ADC locked in. There's an Ashe pick.
Yeah, definitely something that we have seen Boostus on quite a bit in the past. But that does kind of key into something really important, right? The fact that, with that substitution, it does mean that maybe the Spire have to change up a little bit of the way they've been playing most of their games this season. But, that at the same time, again, if you're a coping Spire fan, we've been kind of critical that the Spire strategy has maybe been a little bit too predictable, right? So if they're gonna have a different approach tonight, that could end up working in their favor. We'll have to wait and see. But the Sivir coming out in response does feel like a pretty strong pick into the Ashe.
Yeah, I think it's especially potent because you have Wukong already. You can just start building a Sivir comp, right? Like you just need some top laner who wants to just run at the enemy team, and Ashe isn't already that great into things that directly get on top of her, right? She needs to kite it out and have really prolonged team fights. And if you're able to get some sort of pick that can just stick on top of her and burst her incredibly hard, like to pair with this Wukong, it can just mean that Ashe and Boostus never gets to play the game. I think it's a little interesting that we're picking our mid laner just here, just kind of throwing down the gauntlet as Sarah and going, I'm going to play Victor and you're going to play some other control mage and there's nothing going to be done about it. And yep, just another control mage gets answered.
Yeah, definitely. I guess they're waiting to see. So, with locking in mid here for Saren, it does mean that Omega are going to be able to counterpick in either top lane or support, right? Because Spire is taking one of those on R4. So then Omega is going to be able to counterpick in either one of those positions, either one of which I think they're going to be pretty happy about. So in that context, I think it makes some sense. But taking a look at this second ban phase, I imagine top laners will be the focus. Cho'Gath, that's taking me so far.
Yeah, that's kind of the Spire. Denial Hurts plays a lot of Jax, Renekton, things like that. So if you're banning Cho'Gath, that signals I want Jax, and then the enemy team bans Jax. That just makes sense, right? Curious to see what their second ban would be here. I think for them, they're expecting they're playing against Ornn or something like that, right? So I would either ban that or have a plan of something to play into it. Okay, Mordekaiser banned. So that's one of the big Ornn counter picks gone.
Yeah. So do they just ban the Ornn here for the side of Omega? Is kind of the question.
Omega can still pick like other things. They're gonna get rid of Renekton. I don't know. So like other big like notable top laners that have been like big is like Set is available. Cassante, yeah. So they're just gonna pick their Milio here. So getting some more disengage for the team. I'm not really the biggest fan of it here. I think Milio definitely needs to be picked into like a key ultimate that you can like cleanse. Yeah, that you can deny something.
It is a strong pairing with the Ashe, though. Being able to increase
Yeah.
the auto attack range on the Ashe is really nice.
I don't know. I'm just kind of a believer that Ashe needs somebody that can play a little aggressively with her in lane. That I think otherwise you just get something like this where you're playing against Karma and you literally get to sit under your tower now as Ashe Milio and cuddle around your low cozy campfire to get healed.
Yeah, that is going to be a really tough lane for Boostus and for Strawberry to be playing into. I imagine they will be doing a lot of that sitting underneath the tower thing that you just mentioned. And the Perspicacious Ambessa going to come out there. That is a Persp classic.
Yeah.
So that I think is definitely a champion that does benefit from that Sivir ultimate, right? Like what you were calling for a little bit earlier.
Yeah, it's just something else that Ashe now has to be worried about, right? If you get a Bessa running at you and you burn the ult, right, and they can just chain the public execution into it to kind of buffer through it. Oh my, that's a top laner.
In the top lane this game. Okay. That is very fun. So, talking to Saren and Witch on Otter Talk just a little bit ago, we were really highlighting the mid jungle as kind of being the most important roles, at least as far as the early game is concerned in this matchup. But these top lane picks very, very aggressive. I mean, if either an Ambessa or a Camille ends up getting a huge lead in a side lane, that could decide a game.
Yeah, so I'm just gonna say this: Camille destroys Ambessa, like solo queue data wise. Like this is such a potent counter pick. Like I'm pretty sure it's like the #1 counter pick, and it's like there's like Teemo and Warwick, and it's like Camille's better than those into Ambessa. Like it's really, really strong because you are able to take like these short trades with your shield up into Ambessa's damage. And then you have the retaliation Q, right? And the movement speed from that lets you reposition and you're not like getting caught out by the Ambessa, just like chain stun combos. You have hook shot that can interrupt all of her dashes. It's higher priority.
Okay.
And then you can ult when she ults as well, right? Like you can buffer your own ult and just save it so that you can always guarantee like a Q proc. Like the Cho'Gath Feast thing.
Yeah, that makes so much sense. And Ambessa's ult is relatively telegraphed as well.
Yeah,
I mean, it has
it's not
long cast time.
Yeah, this is like a matchup I'm not that familiar with because I hate playing Ambessa and I think Camille is cheating because Divine Sunder was in the game, so I definitely thought Camille was cheating. Now that it's removed, she's fine. But like I haven't personally played this matchup, but just like I imagine this is like so Camille favored. But again, it's that thing of Camille is like awful for the first 4 levels of the game, right? She is not really a champion. I feel like Camille has that Kale effect. So there is this chance for Omega to be able to do something early, right? You can screw with this game a lot. I think both of these top laners are absolutely worthless in a swap situation. So it's like, I think that's the thing. Like if this game is going really, really bad for Omega, you have the potential to hit that swap button and just throw this game into complete disarray.
Very interesting. Yeah. It does feel like Omega, they don't have like the best early game tools.
No.
If you are trying to like really disrupt things early on, really, most of their champions do want to scale towards at least a couple of completed items. But once they get those items, it's going to be a really formidable team fighting comp here coming out from Omega. They don't have like the greatest front line, but the best defense is a good offense, right? As they say, and they definitely have that in spades. So if everybody on the enemy team is like knocked up and getting one shot basically, then you don't really have to worry about tanking their damage as much. On the other side, for the Spire, they have a composition that I feel like can team fight, but I don't feel like it's quite on the same level as what Omega have.
Yeah, I would argue that the Omega definitely is drafted like a 5v5 team fight comp. It's a little different because it's not like a traditional front line that it's like, Ambessa and Wukong and things like that, that it's more of kind of like poke in people and then catch somebody out, whereas Omega is definitely playing a pick comp basically, right?
Yeah.
I don't think Camille is never joining a team fight, right? And if we are team fighting with Camille, I think this game's going to be a problem. But like it's like Camille side lanes, Volibear goes to try and dive the person with Camille by turning off the tower, and it's like Syndra, Ashe, and Milio's job is to like poke and prod of the enemy team and like make sure they can never get caught out. Or it's like, you know, Camille can come onto somebody and hookshot over a wall to look for a stun into like Syndra burst. Like there's all these abilities to just instantly delete one person, right? And
Yeah.
there's no one tanky on Omega, right? Like basically no matter who you put your like combo into, they're going to die unless it's a Wukong clone, right? So
I mean, the clone would technically die.
yeah, the clone also does die. That's fair. That's fair. But like, yeah, so I think this is a really, really interesting way to play it. I think the Omega comp is way easier to play, as every Sivir comp is. It's you run at the enemy team with Sivir R and you face roll over them once you achieve this point. You know, you put down a Wukong ult into a gravity well from Victor and then all of his damage over the top of that while Sivir chucks boomerangs, right? So the Omega comp's really easy to play. I don't think the Spire comp is very easy to play.
Certainly, I would agree, less easy than Omega's comp.
Yeah.
We talked a little bit already about how their bot lane is most likely going to really struggle in the laning phase just because Karma can be so oppressive in that 2v2. But at least for the Spire, they did manage to not only get that Camille counterpick in the top lane, but they did also get the Syndra into the Victor. You know, as far as counter matchups go, that's not, I mean, they're both control mages. Like, they're kind of just, you know, farming minions for the most part, I imagine, in that mid lane. But basically, my question for you, Storm, is like, how all in are the Spire on this Camille pick specifically? Like, how much is the draft hinging on this Camille being that really strong force in the sideline? Like, if they don't have that, is it still playable, or like?
I do not think so. I think I actually, like, straight up, like I was saying, like the team fighting thing, I do not think this team can like go for a team fight. Like if this game is like Omega gets the first 2 dragons and it's the 3rd dragon of the game and the Spire goes to team fight because they are, you know, starting to get to that point where they're forced to, I think it's going to be a disaster. The like Omega mid-game power spike that they have assembled with Wukong, Sivir, and Victor and Karma and Ambessa is like, those are like the mid-game spikes, right? Like Wukong with Trinity Force plus Sundered Sky, and like Sivir having just basically all the utility she brings. Karma is still a threat at that point in the game. Victor will have his upgrades finished. Like the Omega mid-game for their team is absolutely insane. And I think their team fight at those, like, at that timing window is going to be like unbeatable. I think the Spire has to play the sides this game, and I think it's really all on their top laner. Camille's the pick to do it, right? This is one of those champions that, like, if the game goes late and then somebody is randomly out of position, Camille can literally 100 to 0 you in like one auto, right? She has Cho'Gath feast on a Q. That champion is not fair sometimes, it feels like, right? That like you're an ADC and you're farming a side wave and suddenly you've taken 1,000 true damage and are stuck in like a Vigar cage that you cannot flash out of, right? So I really am leaning that I think Omega's going to win just because of ease of execution. I think their team's much easier to play. I think it's very much an onus on the Spire has to play better than Omega does in this game 1. I think there's definitely a huge chance for them to win. I don't think that this is like, oh, it's a draft gap, whatever, Omega's going to win. But I'd say it's like 60-40. I think Omega's got an edge.
Definitely not a draft doctor segment coming out of this one. But yeah, I'm definitely with you. A little bit of an edge for Omega just based on the ease of execution. That makes a lot of sense to me. I understand there has been a slight delay getting into the client draft. Mr. Producer, feel free to just hop in my ear at any point if it is going to be time to go to break. But, oh, I saw you unmuted. Okay, no, we're chilling for now. We got a little bit more time as the teams get through that client draft. And Storm, I actually want to call back to something else that, you know, we did mention a little bit in Otter Talk. You know, you specifically mentioned that you were really happy to see the Spire last week in their first playoff match start to draft a little bit more around top lane, right? And they have kind of done that here with the Camille. It's a pick that we haven't seen very much of in the Premier League this season. And, you know, as we've discussed, it's a very hard counter into the Ambessa. So, you know, while the draft for Omega is a little bit easier, we think, to play out overall, are you still happy to see the Spire go for a style like this, even if you feel like it didn't necessarily give them like a win in the draft? Like, do you think this is still the correct way to approach your game number 1 on red side, which, as we remember, was their choice?
Yeah. I'm So this is just like me as a top laner, and it's like the way I approach the game is, yeah, this is how I'd want the game to go, right? Is like, if I'm on blue side of the game, I am fine, and it's the way I've always been, and it's like that is like, okay, put me on a tank. Give me the blind pick. I will play Ornn. I will be a good boy. I will sit in top lane and go down 12 CS and then get ready to absolutely rock up in a team fight and land multi-man ults, and we'll win the game that way, right? But if it's red side counter pick, I want to play something stupid, and I want to like absolutely smash this guy's face in. It is the top lane ego that you must have to be good at League as a top laner. I don't think you can just play weak side as a top laner on red side and just be like, oh, it's fine, guys, I'll play Ornn here. It's like, no, I want to play Camille, I want Riven. It's something like that, right? Everybody's got the different things. For some of us, we don't have hands and we're playing Urgot and Garen instead of these things. But yeah, I like the way they've approached it. I think they could have picked some better things. I don't know if the disengage is necessarily going to be strong enough in their like core 4 if they mesh well enough together, right? Like if the idea was, kind of heading into this that we're going to play for split inside, like, and if they had that idea early when they picked Ashe, right? It's, could you have picked other things, right? Like Volibear, I don't think is going to offer very much in a 4v4, right? He's very much this all-in thing that sure he supports the side lane strategy, but maybe it would have been better to have had harder disengage of some description, like Poppy, like throwing those ideas out, right? That I think it's the correct way to take it. And I think in a best of 5, you have a game where you can just risk it and just do something stupid, right? And just go like to figure it out, right? Like if you haven't played against this top lane or whatever, it's very much a thing. And same in mid lane, right? For Saren and stuff. It's like, can you just play against them and go, okay, yeah, this guy's going to int early. Like we're going to play early and he's going to go for these super aggressive trades. We're going to cheese gank him. We're going to pick Jarvan next game and we're going to make his life absolutely unplayable, right? We're going to play Cassiopeia Jarvan next game and this guy's going to be 0-8 by 10 minutes, right? So game 1 of a best of 5, I think it's very much good to feel this out and to have these ideas and to take it. And this is a team where you can feel it out, right? If you're, if Karma and Sivir are just going to sit under your tower all game, that's something for next game, right? That they're just going to play like this. We can do something about it. So
yeah, definitely pretty cool to see the Spire putting a lot of faith in their top laner here in this first draft. It'll be very exciting to see who does end up coming out to very momentum-based teams, right? So this game 1 could end up being everything. We'll have to wait and see, guys. A short break, and then on to the Rift for our first game of the day. Alrighty, League fans, welcome on to the good old Rift of Summoning for our first game of the day, our first game in this best of 5 between Omega Gaming on the blue side for game number 1, and of course the Spire on red.
Do we have a level 1 happening? Is somebody finally doing this?
Perhaps.
Oh.
There's a Karma, relatively strong at level 1. Omega are going to invade the top side as 5. Notoriety, going to spot this out, be able to retreat very comfortably, drops the defensive ward near his Raptors just to get the information. Actually lands the Sky Splitter there on a 4. Pretty nice. Feels pretty good.
Big Sugar also making 2 gold. It's already a gold lead.
Huge. Yeah, running the first strike there on the Syndra. Very nice. Get that early advantage. Rest of the runes and summoners looking pretty standard. Oh, Theron is going to get slowed up here. It's too late to go for the recall as well. So this damage is going to stick. Theron going to get chunked down to about half. So really nice.
Is he going to TP early?
I mean, I guess he could.
Yeah, he's not chugging a potion. I think he's TPing. Yeah. Wow.
All right. Well, there was a TP cooldown is what? Is it like 4 minutes? 4.5 minutes or something?
Yeah.
So not the end of the world. I mean, I imagine he's probably going to be able to lane for 4 minutes or so without any major issues. Hopefully. We'll have to see how that goes. But yeah, seems like a pretty nice early impact from Boostus. I guess we should just call him Hank, since he did change his name.
Yeah, we will call him Hank. I think that's fair to him.
Yeah, definitely. But yes, I was also going to mention, I do see the lethal tempo there for Notoriety on the Volibear. And, you know, I'm a little bit sad
make $1
about
million.
it.
Yeah.
It's, you know, it's been nerfed a couple of times. I have still seen some full damage Volibears, you know, popping off in solo queue. So it's not like that build is unplayable or anything like that. But definitely does feel like he's the main front line in this draft, right? So the fact that he's not going to be tanky until later is a little bit worrying.
Well, good to see Hank and Strawberry already, you know, pushing back, and they're not just accepting their fate under the tower. We do see that Notoriety is still pathing bot lane, as he has been. I think this is a mistake, and I think you should be pathing top lane here, because that's the matchup where it's going to win you the game. But
right. Yeah, I would have liked to see that as well. We do see that Denial has the early push. Not quite able to get the crash out yet, though. A little bit of an interesting pathing from Kaxi here. He's done his full bot side into blue buff and is now doubled back for the Raptors. So I wonder if he was considering a level 3 gank towards that top side, or maybe he just has some other kind of game plan.
Yeah, I think he was maybe looking out for an early kind of cheese gank or something there from Notoriety, and then there isn't anything, so just going back to full clear and then getting his, you know, reset once he's finished that scuttle crab in the top side, I'm guessing is the kind of the game plan now. You know, you don't really want to be fighting that much early game as Wukong, right?
Right. Yeah, it's just going to be very slightly behind tempo compared to Notoriety, but not really too consequential. Should be able to still get this topside crab, no problem.
Yeah. Notoriety just checking to see if he maybe got a lucky double scuttle, but no, of course not. I guess is just gonna start the cycle. No, gonna take his reset and start.
So the small camps don't respawn just yet for the bear. Does just need to go for the reset here. We see the mid laners actually trading quite aggressively. Big Sugar completely out of resources is gonna be able to go for the recall here. So very good for Saren. He's absolutely, yeah. The fact that Saren able to win out there after blowing the TP early is really, really big, actually, I think, for him. He's not really going to be put out at all by using that summoner.
Kind of interesting to me. There's already a fairly substantial lead here for Denial Hurts in this top lane. He's already up 8 CS. You know, it is pushing back technically for him. You know, some of that CS is there, but that is quite a gold lead already accruing for this Camille.
Yeah. Definitely significant, and that is what we want to see in this matchup, right? Expecting the community winning out relatively hard. You know, Denial with the R5 counterpick. You want to see that being used effectively. A lot of damage coming out from Match here on the Hank. Down to about 200. Still with the biscuit in pocket. He's gonna start snacking on one of those now. First dragon of the game gonna be an Ocean. First dragon of the match there. We'll see if Notoriety wants to make an early move towards it.
I mean, is kind of one of the best dragons to get early on, just giving your team that global regen bonus. The other one, of course, being Cloud Dragon. Just allowing you to get around the map faster is always broken. Movement speed, buy your boots, kids.
And being able to get that earlier tempo can help you be in position to set up other plays. It's like kind of one of those hidden effects that doesn't show up in the numbers anywhere, but it absolutely can be very impactful. Just being in the right place at the right time. Oh, Strawberry Frog going down really low to that Boomerang blade. Notoriety doesn't have the bot prio, considering a Dragon Start, actually considering a bot lane gank here, it looks like. The recall for Mag is going to complete, but Jae Young flashes for the Mantra Inner Flame, takes out Strawberry Frog, and now the tether on the Notoriety. I think he's out of there.
Yeah,
very nice from Jay, and Strawberry just not expecting that at all.
Okay. I mean, we were talking about Jae Young's probably one of the best supports in the league. Shows it right there. Should Strawberry Frog have burned heal in that situation? Probably.
He just wasn't ready.
Yeah,
completely
I guess.
caught off guard there. I mean, I was pretty caught off guard as well, to be fair. I wasn't expecting Carmen to just go for the flash RQ. But props to Jay. Saw the angle, capitalized. And Karma is a champion that can benefit from early gold, right? You see the Lost Chapter now already in inventory, going to be able to continue bullying in the 2v2.
Yeah, I mean, Karma's one of those champions. Synergizes so ridiculously well with so many items. Big one coming to mind is the alt friggin' burn item, whatever that. Malignance, yes, because your alt isn't a... Yeah, because it's not a real alt, and it just works on all your Qs, and I hate it.
It's actually crazy, yeah.
Yeah.
That item does go very hard on Karma. Any other champion that doesn't have a real cooldown on their ultimate.
Yeah. Denial, not looking the greatest on this Camille, but still has all these biscuits, so, you know, despite being really low in this trade, they can start chugging down on those. Has eaten one.
And has the teleport advantage for right now as well. Could go for a reset and teleport back here, but opting to stick around instead, waiting for some kind of breakpoint perhaps on an item, but does mean that he's not really able to pressure in that 1v1 at the moment. Meanwhile, the other members of Omega taking that first dragon down here on the bottom side of the map. They're going to be able to lock away the first neutral objective of the game. Grub spawning now. Looks like a delay to move over from the Spire. They're not going to be in time to contest this dragon, but maybe a fight on the exit. But no, Notoriety contest the flash away, and Kaxi diving forward with the Cyclone, finds the knockup on 2, and the Blast Cone is not going to get Big Sugar to safety. That's going to be kill number 2 for Omega, and they are starting to pull ahead here in the early game.
Yeah, that's a big win, especially considering it goes on to Saren there, right? It's a money where you want it on your scaling mage. Oh, that's not a good look.
Yeah, I mean, kind of seemed like the Spire just had no idea that that dragon was even being taken. They just kind of like wandered into the river there and like, oops, there's 4 people here. Oh dear.
Yeah, but like, he doesn't have any mana. What is this guy doing? He doesn't have any biscuits either, and is... Oh god, he's gonna die, isn't he? First?
Well, the ultimate is not available. Oh, no! Oh no! Okay. I would like to vote. We actually don't watch top lane anymore.
Yeah, we'll just see solo kills happen off our screen and be like, wow, that's crazy. How did that happen? That was a great outplay from Denial.
Yes, outplayed.
Yep.
That's where you hit him with the question mark in all chat, I think, right? If you
I think that's
really
where you type in all chat, God, we're so bad.
I mean, I guess that could be another angle, yeah. But the Camille, who was in a pretty difficult spot, with that very nice little solo kill that she's able to pick up, is now going to be right back into the driver's seat. Gets a wave pushed out as well. Did still burn the teleport to get back to lane, but that's totally fine.
Okay, Denial. You have a 25 CS lead. You have a pretty major item advantage. You're level 9 now as Camille. You have your Cho'Gath Q on the low cooldown. Let's see it, buddy. Oh,
Shade for
that's
Sparrow in the
natural.
bot lane. That's going to connect onto Match, who does have to ult and flash away. Will be able to survive, but a very expensive escape for the Sivir. And a nice setup from Hank.
Oh,
Sugar
no.
can wander into a Chaos Storm, a very nice scatter to try to disengage, but the Victor has a good amount of range. The Death Ray flashes in for it, gets the Q, and gets the Feat of Warfare, but now collapsed on by Notoriety and Strawberry, and already used the flash, obviously. Good
But James here.
And Madge on the rotate over, able to help heal for the mid laner. Now the tether onto Strawberry. The super kick is going to knock away that pesky Karma. And it will be just the one casualty as Big Sugar goes down for the second time.
Okay, Q. Nice. No, you keep going forward, Denial. God damn it, bro. Anyway,
Maybe Hookshot is on cooldown there? I mean...
he has ult. That's, you just
Oh, yeah,
ult him and kill him.
I suppose.
Yeah. Whatever. You can just do it on the next rotation as well. But yeah, Big Sugar.
Go ahead, go ahead.
0-2 now. Yeah. You know, both mid laners, while they still have completed their first items here, it is one of those things that Victor is better technically, I think, right? As the game goes on, that as Syndra, you have kind of this advantage over him in the early game that you're able to land more push and poke. You know, I feel like the extra utility that this Victor is going to be able to bring to this game is going to make a huge difference. So I'm starting to get really worried here for Big Sugar. They have looked fantastic in a lot of mid-game fights on things like that Aurora, but they don't have that similar kind of real outplay potential, right? It's more about these scatter the weaks and things like that. There isn't just the one big button.
Yeah, I mean, I will say that the Syndra scales a lot better than she used to, right? Back in the day when she was really, like, just a lane bully. She still kind of has that, but they have given the Syndra a lot more scaling in recent years, so it's not like she's going to be a slouch in the late game by any means. But definitely not the most auspicious of starts for Sugar in this one. And it's about a little over a 1,000 gold lead for Omega overall. And they were able to actually get all three of those grubs as well. I missed that when it was happening, but they are up 2-0 in neutrals also. It's perspicacious.
You should die here,
Is
right?
going to get ulted. Yeah, I think this is the moment we were waiting for Denial. The public execution is going to be Perspicacious's execution, as it turns out, as Camille gets her second kill of the game.
Yeah, plates are a trap a lot of the time, top laners. You can't just take those. You have to kill your opponent, then take plates. That's how it works. You can't just take them off resets, or you'd end up dying like that.
Yeah.
Let's see if it was a good death.
As goes in, finds Cyclone onto 2. As Hank going down to about half, has to flash away from Madge, and the flash away for Strawberry Frog as well, but the Nymph Strike coming out once again, but Caxi doesn't quite have the crushing blow, and now the arrow connects. He tries to flash away, just to lay down to Riding, maybe able to there's pretty young. Another flash RQ from the Karma, secures the kill onto Hank, and now the Sivir damage. Notoriety down very low, Saren on the off angle, seeing if he can finish off these low health bars. The wave isn't in quite yet, though. The death rate stops the recall. Notoriety, I think it's very greedy to stick around underneath this tower right now. I think he's stuck around too long and is now just going to die. And Madge gets the last hit. Perfect for Omega. They're going to be able to go ahead and rack up their second dragon here as well, on top of a plate for the Sivir as well. And they are starting to open up a very significant lead now in this first game.
Oh god, it's a Cloud Soul.
Wow.
Oh, that's so good, man. They got
Sivir, Wukong, Cloud
Soul.
Yeah. And Karma as well. You're like pressing R like all the time.
Yeah. And also they got Hextech Ocean. I literally don't know if you could get a better dragon sequence. That's disgusting.
Yeah, definitely a big high roll for Omega here. Excuse me. Yeah. But that is I mean, they just secured feats of strength as well off that last sequence. They are in a fantastic spot. And we were talking also about how their composition we think is going to be a little bit easier to play. They have such a clear win condition now. You just keep stacking up these dragons, and it's going to be really difficult for the Spire to do anything about it. Denial? Denial? Let's keep tapped on that top lane. He is going to have the flash. But other than that, yeah, he's pretty fine. Notoriety. Going to find Caxi in the jungle, but your top laner just got mega chunked out. Although the Cyclone
James gonna kill him, isn't he?
Oh my goodness. assassin karma. And now Sarah in with the gravity well,
He's-
gets the stun onto the Volibear notoriety. Oh, he does manage to escape. Oh, man, that was so close, but the Volibear does survive. Went for
I
a
was-
lot of ages. Volibear. That's not...
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness. Now Big Sugar has to flash away.
He's building like the top lane items. I would also like to point out we have a Dark Seal on our Karma with 4 stacks.
Well, that...
Jaeyoung-
I mean...
Jaeyoung
makes
knows
sense.
that he's the carry. Yeah, he's
I mean, that's-
indexing into this.
I fully support that decision, 100%. Are we expecting a Medjai's at some point is the real question.
Jaeyoung, 100% the dude to build a Medjai's. And shout out to
I mean, he
Kroger for
would.
Jaeyoung.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He wasn't on Otter Talk this week, so we
Yeah.
gotta get in the Kroger shout out. Please sponsor us.
They're a grocery chain, right? As a
They sure
Canadian,
are.
I have no idea.
That's absolutely right. Yeah, I mean everybody needs groceries, right? Including
Yeah.
people who watch Blue Otter League. So
Yeah.
I think it would work out pretty well.
I
You
mean,
ask
Hot
me.
Pocket sponsored Aegis. Why can't we
There
get
you go.
Kroger?
There you go. Should be a pretty easy sell. I'm sure Bully's gonna get on that.
Yeah.
With the pitch deck and everything. So we'll have that for next season. But for now, back to the game at hand. We're taking a quick look at the gold there. Obviously, just getting more and more in favor of the side of Omega. They are,
Okay.
seems like cruising
They're-
towards a victory in this first game. Denial is not really winning out, I think, as hard as we would like. In fact, he's not really winning out at all.
No, I'm noticing we're not positioning as much around our Q2 and more getting into the trying to use the W angles, which is kind of one of these things that, like, if you don't play a lot of Camille, it's really weird to say, but literally her entire kit is built around one ability, and it's Q. Everything in her kit is to support Q. W is the slow and the ability to land it more. E is to reposition to let you hit Q2s. Like, the whole kit is Q, right? And if that's not how you're playing the champion, it looks really bad. And I think this is, I had talked about this. I haven't seen Denial does not have a game of Camille in ranked in the past 2 or 3 seasons, and I think it's showing a little here.
Yeah.
Oh, this is a good start to a trade.
Okay, here's the
Oh, but
Hexecho's
we didn't
ultimatum, looking
channel
for the
the
solo
Q,
kill.
man.
The public execution does come out, but Perspicacious is so low, will
Yeah.
just get taken down. And that, I think, is pretty much how that matchup is supposed to go.
Yeah, just a little differently of the timings on stuff, but yeah, basically it's you just one-shot the person with true damage, and the fact that they have armor or anything doesn't matter.
Because it's true damage.
Yeah,
Yeah, makes sense.
which is fair.
So,
So,
Denial, though, knowing that Perspicacious does have the teleport, is not going to be sticking around to go for the tower. Is instead just going to channel the recall. 30 seconds on this
There we
next
go.
Dragon Storm. And complete River. Oh, he is actually going to stick around for the tower.
Yeah,
And Perspicacious going to elect to hold on to the teleport and just give over that turret.
I mean, it is a bounty, which is pretty big. Like, it's some extra gold for Camille, but this is this point where I was talking about that, like, the enemy team is, like, spiked in mid-game harder than you would believe. And I think Denial is going to TP to this fight and die, and the game is going to end.
Okay, well, let's see if that is going to transpire, because right now it looks like there might not even be a fight with the positioning of the Spire. They are very far away from this river, and it looks like Soul Point is just going to be given over, which feels terrible, but
Yeah.
it just feels like there's nothing they can really do.
Yeah, this is the thing of, like, you needed to set up, like, another play on the other side of the map or something. This is just giving up, right? This is the slowly
Yeah.
bleed it. This is NA at Worlds.
Oh, yeah. Oh, it kind of does feel that way. Side note, I'm a little bit worried that might happen again this year. FlyQuest has been dominant, but the fact that they haven't really been pushed by like anybody in the West all season is worrying for me. But maybe we can get to that later.
Yeah, I feel like conversation for a different time, maybe.
Yeah. As far
Okay.
as ways back into the game for the Spire, draw it up for me.
It's shut down gold, right? there's lots and lots of... Jaeyoung is very, very killable, and they have a 250 gold bounty. You get that onto somebody, right? You have plenty of pick tools, right? We were talking about this. This team has the ability to just kill someone very easily. So that's all you have to do, is you set up a pick in a bush, you land, Ash ult. Doesn't even have to be part of that, right? Ash can just land a long range ult. Notoriety has these big AP numbers coming in here. I have no idea what they're building with these items in their inventory. Is this a Warmogs?
I just don't want to think about it.
Yeah, okay.
The new guy is alive now as well.
Yeah.
And we can see Omega starting to set up around this objective. Very far forward there, it was Saren,
yeah.
but not going to get punished.
Okay. Hank.
We do see Denial has roamed down to join up with the team, so this is kind of what you were worried about. We were afraid of the Camille showing up to the team fight.
Oh god, what
this is
revoke his license, Caxi. What is wrong with you, man?
He has the W button, but now he's gonna get hit by Ash's R button. But I guess they're just gonna so he's just gonna be let go, and now we're gonna flash in. He flashes in, he finds the knockup onto everybody. Please eventually kill Caxi. They do eventually get Caxi, but the team fight, it looks like it's still gonna be one out by Omega. It's a 2 for 2 so far.
Yeah, and we got the shutdown onto Jaeyoung, which is nice. And as long as nobody else on our team dies, that's fine. We don't have flash on all of the people who get dove. This might be an issue towards this soul coming up in 2.5 minutes.
Yeah, that is actually probably the biggest takeaway from that fight. The fact that Hank and Big Sugar both had to flash is probably the most consequential thing that just happened.
And
it did look very chaotic.
Yeah, and Saren and Maj notably both do have their flashes in case Denial. Well, Denial has to come, right? It's Cloud Soul with Wukong Sivir. That's not one you can give up for a tier 2 and be like, it's fine, guys. This isn't Chemtech Soul.
I mean, you could just give up on ever. I mean, yeah, the game will realistically be over if that does happen. And, the side of the Spire have really been struggling to get their way into this river. They're going to find a stone on the Perspicacious, but yeah, Mbessa just a little bit too tanky to really be focused down in a timely manner. We have Saren up in the top end right now with the teleport. I feel like he should be pretty vulnerable to this Camille.
Yeah.
The gravity well goes down, though. That's going to be the stun.
And the
There's
hook shot.
Out. The hook shot, he's just going to use it to retreat. And Victor winning the 1v1 against Camille, that doesn't... what's this
That doesn't feel
got
right.
Got an Otacon start coming out from the Spire, and I don't think the Spire or Omega have any vision on that particular objective at the moment. It's just getting burned down. Okay, there's the Scryer's Bloom. Can Caxi
I don't
get
think they have the damage to get it.
The
It's
Wukong's
going to be a
almost there. The
flip.
scatter from Big Sugar, but the Wukong gets in there. Who's going to get it? And he takes it away. And with it, any hope, it feels like, for the Spire in this first game. Caxi doesn't find anybody with the Cyclo. No, going down extremely low. Will survive. Saren teleporting in. Has the Elixir running as well.
Oh,
Denial wants some revenge.
So
goes in with the Hex Cycle ultimatum. But now the knockups come through. Jaeyoung.
What is Jaeyoung doing?
He's looking for the assassination on the Karma once again. It is Perspicacious coming alive. Notoriety, though, getting one back on the other side. He finally takes down that Karma. Caxi's going to be falling to the full damage of Volibear as well. So another messy fight, and actually, somehow, the Spire come away with the 3 for 2. For now, as they continue fighting,
gonna go in, isn't he?
Dashing forward, Maj on the Sivir could end up being the difference maker here, and he absolutely will be. A triple kill for the Omega AD carry, and Dragon spawning now.
Yeah, GG's. That was
GG's indeed.
That was a great way to end that one, I think, is fair to say. Denial did everything in his power to try and gear up as hard as he could. He has his 2-item spike. I don't know if anyone else noticed, but that guy bought a red elixir. He tried his hardest to get as spiked as he could be and to join that fight. Just the rest of the team was nowhere near ready. And Caxi with another somehow gets, just like his spider senses are just saying, oh yeah, the enemy team's on Otacon, obviously. I don't know how that guy knew that.
I mean, nobody was defending the tier 2 turret in mid lane.
I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was a pretty, not obvious necessarily, but definitely something you need to check. If you don't have vision on Otacon, you don't know where they are. As Hank gonna get jumped on. It is just not up on the Strawberry Frog to start, but yeah, I mean the Sivir ultimate. Ash without flash, just never gonna get away there.
Okay.
Yeah, the Cloud Soul is just, I mean,
Yeah.
you can't play into this. They're too fast. The team fighting is too strong with this composition. And do we have Cyclone? Not available at the moment. We already used it. So nobody else going to be dying right now on the side of the Spire. Jae Young taking a little bit of a chunk, but they're still going to feel pretty emboldened to go ahead and start up the Baron. Notoriety in the vicinity with ultimate. No vision in the pit at this time. There's the control ward going down.
Yeah,
And,
I mean, Denial's forced to met spot lane against Burst as well on this Ambessa, so there's an arrow
they're gonna clear out
coming
the control
in.
warp. Here comes the arrow. It's going to be sidestepped very nicely. And I like this holding of the Baron, but the problem for Omega is they don't really have a very easy turn, and this is also a little bit of a problem for Omega. Oh, we missed the whole trap! It's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
It's
oh my
fine.
god, it's
It's
not
fine.
fine.
It's
not
not fine.
fine. It's not fine, Storm. It wasn't fine.
No, it wasn't. That's why I started throwing up as soon as he missed it. I just knew he was dead. Oh god, man.
Yeah, that was a
All
rough
right,
beat.
Hank, goodbye.
Caxi gonna get flashed on. Or
Oh,
Caxi
okay,
gonna do the flashing, rather. And then there's going to be a tether on the Strawberry Frog, who does heal and still dies to the Karma, who never bought the Magi's, but
Mistake.
it actually is fine. Hank does eventually go down, as well as Caxi will find him in the jungle. And that could maybe just be the Nexus blowing up right here. At the very least, it looks like it's going to be two
don't think so.
inhibitors.
Yeah, I think it's going to be 2 inhibs into Baron reset, yada yada yada. A standard way to end a game. But who knows? Maybe we try and end.
Posturing for the Nexus towers right now. Denial has respawn. 20 seconds still on the Ash. A stun on the Caxi. Does have the clone. Gets away from the Volibear. And now we will see the retreat out of the base for Omega. And they will go for the more careful approach. Makes sense. Game 1 of a series. You don't need to be going for any crazy throws in the playoffs here.
Yeah, right. I mean, who needs that mid? That mid lane in him doesn't even matter. Mid lane always pressing forward for you anyway. They got the bot lane in him. That's the important one. That's the one outside of Baron. And I mean, they took one inhib, and they took one inhib, right? Which means all of your minions get an extra 50 HP. So that means you automatically push the enemy team in always.
Yeah, which they were doing a lot of already anyways, but now it's just like they don't even need to be in the lane for it to happen, which is pretty convenient for things like taking Baron. We do see Denial off in the bot lane right now, trying to do Camille things. Does have the teleport as well, and that's a little bit of an overstep from Jay, who does flash. That looked very weird, but it was a flash into a Baron pit to stay alive.
Yep. Denial gets a big bounty, which doesn't matter whatsoever, but good to see that he's getting his gold up.
Okay, so Saren, the known Camille counter, coming over here to put a stop to what Denial is doing in that side lane. And Omega playing very cautiously. A little bit too cautiously, perhaps.
Yes, I would definitely agree with you there. I feel like when your team has this amount of a lead, you just run at them. You have Sivir, and you have Wukong.
Yeah.
There's no way Ash can hit this mid lane wave, right? Like,
shouldn't be allowed.
Yeah.
All right. Well, there are no waves in the mid lane at the moment. We're all just kind of standing around, waiting for waves to exist.
Elder?
Here.
Is that what we're waiting for?
I guess.
Because they're certainly not starting Baron, right?
Okay, now we're looking for something. Hank is going down very, very low, but does stay alive for now. Caxi diving very deep to try to finish off that Ash, and Maj kind of flashing in there behind him. And Notoriety kind of focusing the Wukong instead of the Sivir. That feels like it was a bit of a mistake. Maj will eventually die, but it is at the cost of the entire team for the Spire. And now Omega will be able to walk it in and close out this game number 1 right around 30 minutes.
Sure, yeah. That's just how we drew it up. You just walk at the enemy team and you kill them. Was it the exact way we talked about it? Not really, but it's the end process that matters. That's a pretty clear win for Omega, right?
We love some outcome-focused assessments here in the Blue Otter League, no doubt about it. As yeah, it was a quite a dominant win for Omega in that game. You know, we were kind of poo-pooing at the end there, saying that like, oh, you guys should be able to close this out a little bit more convincingly, given the lead that you have. But you know, it is a playoff match, and you know, I'm sure nerves are coming into play to some extent there, where like you don't want to be going for anything overly aggressive and throwing away a huge lead or anything like that. So, in the end, 30-minute win, very convincing. Omega taking a little bit of a draft advantage, and it feels like really driving it home.
Yeah. I don't really think there's a clear like POG. Do you? Do we give it to Jae Young for like stymieing that early game and getting like a big lead? Like,
Yeah,
I don't
maybe it
know.
is just Jae Young. It's probably Yeah, it probably is. It's probably got to be Jay. I think everybody else had some whoopsies at various points. Madge had a very consistent game on the Sivir as well. It's probably
Yeah.
either Madge or Jay.
Yeah, it's one of the two of them. So I don't really care between them. We can just give it to both of them. It's the bot lane gets the MVP.
Omega bot lane works for
Yeah.
me. But yeah, I mean, for the side of the Spire, you know, Denial, the counter pick, the Camille, we saw like a little bit of how that was supposed to work, right? Did get a couple of solo kills onto Perspicacious. Only one of those was Perspicacious flashing underneath the tower without a minion wave.
For sure. That was an outplay. We got a Camille auto for the shield.
Oh,
Didn't
yeah.
you see that part, right? It was
Oh,
an
that
outplay.
Camille passive, just passived so hard. But you know, overall, it felt like the Spire not really doing a great job of playing to their outs in this game. It
Yeah.
felt like, you know, they weren't really going for objectives when they had the opportunity. They weren't really playing heavily towards the side lane like we felt like they needed to with this draft. And yeah, it just felt like they didn't really come in with like a clear game plan.
Yeah, I mean our Volibear path bot lane for our Ash Milio, and those two went 0-9, right? This is like the thing when you're playing solo queue and you have like the thing and your jungler just auto path spot lane and you're just looking like, I don't think I get to play the game for the next 10 minutes, right? It's just one of those things that sometimes it happens. And for the Spire, they gotta have if you have a game plan, you execute on the game plan, right? If we're gonna play for bot lane, we are not picking Ash Milio, right? It's pick Draven or something, right? You have to focus on your win cons and play for them. I hope Notoriety is able to change up his pathing as this series goes on, because we've seen this guy path the same way, I think, for 8 weeks now.
Yeah, I mean, I do think a curveball of some variety in terms of the gameplay does need to come through from the Spire, right? We've seen them get a little bit more creative with the drafting. We've seen them go for some different angles, but I think you're right. It feels like as far as what's happening on the Rift, you know, they haven't really been able to surprise their opponents. They haven't really been able to find advantages and capitalize on them. So hoping to see them bounce back a little bit. You know, again, we discussed it before even getting into this first game, the fact that these two teams have really been on almost opposite trajectories, right? Where Omega has been like ramping up really strongly over the course of the season, and the Spire has, you know, unfortunately been falling off a little bit, been struggling a little bit more towards the more recent weeks. So they're running out of time. They're going to need to turn things around in these next couple of games, or the season will be over. Probably time to go to a break, Storm, unless you had anything else.
Nah, just time's up. Time to nut up or shut up.
Yeah, now or never. We're going to go into that quick break, guys, and then we'll be right back for Game 2 draft. All right, everybody, welcome back. We are about to get underway with that Game 2 Champion Select. It looks like we are staying on the same side, Storm. Spire electing to remain on that red side. What are your thoughts?
Yeah. I mean, you had a clear plan, right? It just wasn't executed well in terms of the actual game. If this is the draft prep that Witch has done, it's gonna work, right? Like, I think if this was like any other like two teams playing, I probably would have predicted the Spire to have won that game. But it's just like they haven't been playing well together as a team, and that was just I can't speak. Exemplifying their problems, right? It was they're too focused on one part of the map and they're not focused where they need to be. The Lowy and Lilia bans have continued. What a surprise to absolutely no one.
Yeah, definitely the case. Not too surprising there. Yeah, I feel like not really too many power picks taken off the board in that first game, honestly. I mean, Sivir has been something that's been relatively high priority, and obviously the Wukong as well. Those are probably a couple of the biggest picks that are now no longer available. Okay, so the Xin Zhao going to be taken away from notoriety.
Yeah, this is not a Caxi pick normally.
Right. But I mean, you were just highlighting for us in Otter Talk, and I think during the cast earlier as well, that it's not like Caxi can't bring out these other styles of champions. It's just that's how Omega usually operates with him on like the pure tank engage sort of style. But yeah, it'd be interesting to see him on something a little bit different this time around. The Nocturne going to be the response. So Storm, they're playing towards those side lanes once again.
Ori Nocturne. Please just smash the Orion. Yeah, slam it. Saren has been disallowed. I don't like that one into Xin Zhao very much. This is Boostus's most played champion, or sorry, Hank's most played champion. I was just looking at it. But I don't think it's great either with Nocturne, really. It doesn't provide, like, anything, really.
I mean, you can like toss a super rocket at whoever Nocturne is ulting. It's something.
Yeah, and now you just get to pick disengage into this, right? Actually, I hate Seraphine. Don't pick that champion. It's already locked in, but like, I know, but like for Jae Young on Seraphine, right? Like, ew. Also, Renekton blind, also ew. Please, someone play something that's actually good in this champion so that like people realize that Renekton has like actual counter picks.
I'm pretty sure Renekton is like one of Perspicacious's more commonly played.
Yeah, but like,
yeah, second most played behind the Alawi.
Yeah,
pretty safe blind. I don't know. I mean, it can be countered, but like your blue
play
side.
Shen into it. Rumble is really good. I don't know. I don't think anyone's friggin' bringing out Quinn, but like, just no. The
opposite of a counter pick.
bro, we are red side.
So
why are we?
They could save counter pick then for either mid lane or support. Probably mid lane. I don't think you're counter picking anything in support that's going to win you a lane with Jinx as your AD carry. Jinx just wants to scale, right? So
yeah,
I mean, so the Nocturne, it doesn't really fit, but the Jinx and the Ornn, right?
Yeah,
that's nice. We like that.
I mean, Omega bans Orianna here 100% of the time, right? Or they are absolutely insane.
The thing about the Nocturne Orianna combo is like, yes, it's really powerful, but it requires such clean like communication and coordination. Like it is possible to mess up that combo. Like it's not guaranteed. Like if it requires the combo requires misexecution, it can't be outplayed. But it can be misexecuted. We see it all the time. So if like the Spire, I mean, so I will say also that not slamming the Orianna does feel like a lack of confidence in that communication between the mid and jungle, which is worrying. So I understand both sides of it, but it does kind of feel bad to not go for that when it was right there. It was very obvious, right? I mean, immediately we're both thinking like, oh, it's Nocturne Orianna. Like, okay, you could try playing for side lanes again. Like, you can blow up targets. But yeah, I mean, not sure.
Yeah, I don't really know what they'd take anymore to like round this team comp out, right? Because Syndra, Victor, Ori are all gone. Like the classic control mage is left. It's like Azir, right? But then it's like your early game is bad, and I don't know how much they play it. They're gonna take the bomb, I guess. I mean, it's good into Seraphine. I'll give them that, and it's great with Jinx. So I'm not mad about this pick, but like I'm not happy at all either with the Spire. Like, this isn't a red side draft, right? We haven't counterpicked anything yet. We've just taken good picks. We should have been on blue side instead and been able to take something we wanted more.
Yeah, I do kind of agree with that.
Oh,
wow. Oh, they're cooking.
It's Sona Seraphine bot lane.
They are cooking. Okay. So, what does it mean, Storm?
So Omega played this a lot last year, didn't they? Like last Premier season? I'm pretty sure looking back at it, they played a lot of this. And for anyone who doesn't know, this basically means like, and they had the bruisers to support this. The Smolder, sure, whatever.
Yeah,
I don't think the Smolder pick matters. Yeah. But like the amount, like the bruisers just get to 1v9 basically. The amount of utility and like healing and shielding and everything that Seraphine Sona provides, like Renekton and Zinzao, these guys are gonna look like unkillable Demon Kings. It's absolutely disgusting when you have these two champions on your team. And the only way to like,
so good.
Yeah, it's phenomenal. Do I hate the Smolder? Yes. I don't know it needed to be there.
It gives you the it's like a safety, it's like an insurance policy for like if you're, because your Xin Zhao and your Renekton, while they do benefit massively from having Seraphine Sona on their team, they are going to potentially struggle into Ornn Braum, right? So you want some kind of ranged scaling damage, and the Smolder does fit that bill. I think maybe ideally that damage would have actually been magic damage.
Yeah. I think this should have been like
heavy. Omega side is. But
I would have liked a different mid laner here. I think like I was talking about, just like any of the classic like AP mids, I think would have been good here.
I don't think Saren plays Azir, but if he played Azir, I feel like that would have probably been maybe the pick.
Yeah. I feel like even Hui or Ari or anything like that would have been good here.
Yeah, the Hui I definitely could see being pretty effective for sure.
Rise, even.
Oh, Rise, sure, a little bit lower range, but still could have worked. Yeah. And honestly, the Rise, where if you're already deathballing, right? So you could just get everybody in the Realm Warp and just all. That could have been kind of fun, but. The Aurora coming through on the R5 now for Big Sugar in the mid lane into the Smolder. Thoughts on that matchup?
Yeah, obviously I know plenty about the Smolder Aurora matchup. I'm obviously Aurora, I'm guessing, just tries to burst Smolder as hard as physically possible and then runs away while she's invisible, and Smolder is very sad because he doesn't get the stack on her. I don't know. Like, Aurora was picked because the only way that Spire ever wins a fight is if they immediately burst either Sona or Seraphine. If Sona or Seraphine do not die in the first like 10 seconds of a team fight, they're cooked.
Even 10 seconds might be a little bit too long.
It might be 5 seconds. Yeah. Like if it's like Horn comes through and the enemy team doesn't die, can they win a team fight? It's like, how do you guys get Jinx excited this game?
Yeah, right. Gonna be a tricky one. I will say, like, and I briefly mentioned it earlier, I think the Braum pick is gonna end up being pretty valuable here.
Yeah. It's good. I mean, you could block both Seraphine and Sona ult with it, right? It gives your team the ability to stun and like actually keep on the targets and things like that. I really think this Nocturne is completely homeless. I do not think Nocturne is not playing this game.
The fact that they went for him so early as well, it's like I assumed they were just going to draft then around the Nocturne, but then they locked in the Ornn and were like, oh, so they're just team fighting with a Nocturne.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it's a bit strange. It is a bit strange. The Aurora does, I think, give you some ability to play in sides. You know, the Aurora is a champion who is very comfortable in sides and is certainly going to be safer, you'd imagine, than the Smolder. So
But
maybe
the
they
enemy
could look
team
for
is
picks
like,
with that. But...
yeah, the enemy team is the ultimate death ball. There is not a side lane like happening, right?
The Smolder's just going to be sitting under tower. Well, it is Saren. So maybe he just overextends, and that's the Spire's way into the game.
I just feel like once Smolder's level 13, he's just going to go, yeah, have fun in the side lane, bro. I'm joining my Sona Seraphine, and we're going to go sing together and, like, go blast the enemy team. Like,
yeah, because the Aurora can't take towers quickly. Like, it's not an effective split push champion. So the Smolder can actually just leave for the fights.
Yeah, exactly. It's not like this is like Azir or Caston even, or somebody that like actually is like threatening to side lane towers. The Aurora has nothing in her kit to like be like, oh, I'm gonna get stuff. It's just that I do 80% magic damage to towers thing, which is cringe, by the way, Riot. I would like that number lowered a little bit.
It's like every mage has built-in demolish when they get 2 items.
Yeah. Anyway, Omega, I think, wins this game really. I think they draft gapped Spire super badly this game. I do not think that you beat a Soldier, Seraphine, and 2 Bruisers. Like Seraphine, Sona, 2 Bruisers, and like a champ, and I don't care, and a mid lane champion that has wave clear, because Smolder is wave clear. So I don't think you're beating this team with a other team fight comp.
Yeah, I mean, given the level of gameplay that we saw from both of these teams in the last game as well, I agree. I think Omega are in a pretty good spot here with what they've put together for themselves. I do think that, you know, again, they are going to have to be a little bit careful, particularly of that Braum. You know, you're relying mostly on your Xin Zhao and your Renekton to do damage, right, until Smolder gets his stacks much later in the game. And so they have to be very coordinated when they go for these engages. And while they were definitively the stronger team in game number 1, we still did see some uncoordinated moments from Omega where there were like individuals out of position, going in by themselves a couple of times, you know, maybe overextending a little bit in a couple of different fights. So, you know, they are going to have to kind of watch out for that. Because, you know, not only then if that happens, are you losing a significant percentage of your damage as Omega if either your Xin Zhao or Renekton goes too deep and dies? But also that's going to give Jinx the passive proc, right? And then those teamfights can turn around so fast if that happens. So, you know, we are going to need to see them play it out as they should, right? With a composition like this, make sure they're coordinated, going in together, target selection needs to be there. If all that happens, I'm with you. Probably a pretty one-sided Omega victory here in game 2. But, you know, for the Spire, it's definitely a bit weird, the draft. You know, we feel like it's kind of trying to do a couple of different things and not necessarily doing any one thing exceptionally well. But it can work, right? Particularly if there's isolated targets in sides for some reason for Omega. Like, the Spire could technically snowball, and they do also have very good scaling with the Jinx and the Ornn, so it's possible.
Yep. Anything is possible. That's why we play these games out, right? There's a reason that League is not just decided in the draft. The gameplay is very much more important than the draft, even though I think that this game's like a hard win for Omega. It's not like it's not like a 90-10 or anything. Like, that never happens in League. The number never climbs above like 75 or something like that, right? Do I think the number's getting close to that point? Maybe. I would say this is like a 70-30 win for Omega, but there's always room for someone on the Spire to go Super Saiyan, right? Like, if Hank on Jinx is able to get like 4 items like before Sarah Sonafine, because that's one of the issues with Sarah Sonafine, right? Is they both need the gold. Right? It's not just one of them needs a lot of money, it's both of them need a lot of money, whereas Jinx is the only one who's really trying to funnel gold. Like, if Jinx gets 4 items before Sona Seraphine, or at like, you know, whichever one of them is farming, I don't know which one it is anymore. I think it's Sona farms technically. Isn't that how it normally works?
I assumed it would be Seraphine, but I don't really know.
Yeah, I think it's Sona who farms, but I don't know. Anyway, as long as they're like if they're a full item ahead, they can absolutely destroy these people. Sure, it's harder into Xin Zhao, who also has his Aegis of Undyingness, and you are Jinx, you're never inside that range, but like it's you get excited and you can start ripping through someone, get that attack speed uncapped with lethal tempo, and you can win a fight. There's lots of knockups and things available to you, so there's lots of outplay potential, but I just think the Spire's Death Ball is really, really gross. And, or sorry, Omega's Death Ball is really, really gross. I think the Spire's, while it's good, it's not the same caliber.
Yeah, really enjoying this Omega draft here for game 2. A little bit of a different look, but one we expect to work out pretty well for him. We'll see if it's going to be Omega going up to match point or if the Spire are able to tie up the series. Don't go anywhere. Alrighty, everybody, welcome back. Getting underway now. Game number 2. Same sides as before. Omega back on blue. And it's going to be the Spire returning to red. See if they can turn around this series. It was a pretty disappointing game number 1 for the Spire. And now they're up against this pretty formidable Death Ball competition. Okay.
Did we bait Saren? I think this was the attempt because we were trying to bait Saren in.
We can't get the Braum passive on him. They just weren't quite aware of the Smolder's positioning. They are at least going to be able to get that ward down on the Raptors.
And you were right. It is Seraphine the one farming. That is Maj on Seraphine.
Yeah. With teleport
Jaeyoung
as well.
Yeah. That's fine, I think, isn't it? I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's fine.
Do you really need barrier? Because Sona's taken heal all the time, so.
And you both have like shields, both you and Sona have shields for one another, so it's like, yeah, I don't think you need the barrier. Teleport seems absolutely fine there.
Okay.
Yeah, 3 teleports for Omega, so they are going to have that advantage. You know, something to think about for later on in the game. You were saying about notoriety?
Just starting on top of a ward. Xin Zhao instead starting on his red buff, which doesn't have a ward on it. They have that ward over towards the Raptors. Probably still just going to spot him, because he's probably going to do that into his Krugs and will still be clearing while that ward is still up, I would imagine.
Yeah, yeah, most likely it's going to be spotted out on that.
Sorry, I'm just going to lower my game volume so I don't hear some very nice singing from Seraphine.
She's a professional, though. You don't enjoy the extra ambiance?
No.
Yeah, interesting to see that the notoriety. I mean, as usual, again, for this player on this team, just pathing towards bot lane once again. You know, in this case, I don't think it really matters because he's playing Nocturne, his top laner's playing Ornn, and his bot laner's playing Jinx. So really, you could path in any direction as the Nocturne in this game, and it's not going to matter because you're not going to be doing anything. As Denial does take a bunch of damage from Perspicacious's Renekton.
Yeah, really great looking counter pick here. Whatever.
He obviously did not pick it for lane. It's a little bit disingenuous to critique the early trading when he is clearly just picking for team fights. But I certainly take your point that does feel like the side of the Spire are not getting quite as much value out of the red side as perhaps we would have liked.
I will point out here, Hank did start this game with a call. Knows that he is not dying in this lane probably unless something's going very wrong. And hey, Perspicacious using Empowered Renekton W, always good to see.
Absolutely. Yeah, Perspicacious, hopefully he's not going to like be baited into trying to win too hard against an Ornn. I feel like as Renekton, as long as you're like getting prio in the lane, that's really all you need to do in this matchup, right?
So Hank is out of potions and
Oh, he sidesteps the twofold hex. The weirding is going to connect, and I think if the Q had as well for the Aurora, then Saren was just dead there, and actually did have to flash. I didn't quite see when he flashed, but he did end up using the flash. Maybe that was when Notoriety arrived. I think the Nocturne tried to flash on top of the Smolder.
Oh, fight!
And he had
Jungle
to flash
fight!
away. Pax's gonna get feared up by the Nocturne, who's a surprisingly good duelist in the early game 1v1s. But Notoriety, as we can see, was not in time to fight for that Scuttle Crab. That was secured by the Jin Zhao, so it's going to be an even trade between the junglers in that regard.
Okay, well, early game. It's already going well for Big Sugar here. I mean, I feel like they need to get some solo kills or something like that. They have to be a point of pressure on this team. We've seen them have some like huge ultimates before, and they're going to need to hit a lot of them. I mean, the enemy team should be clumped up as 5s. There should be plenty of opportunities for some big between worlds.
Yeah, definitely. That's something I think we hadn't really considered just yet. But
Yeah.
quite right, Storm. You know, the theoretical Aurora ult value, quite high in this one.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully Big Sugar can get himself a little bit of a lead to make those ults a little bit more threatening. Because if he's not ahead, then the damage is just going to get healed by the Sona Seraphine. That's why that's such an annoying combo to play against. Just all of that sustain, all of the shielding. Very, very difficult to cut through if you don't have enough burst.
Yep, and there's the tears have started already. Not Spire's crying, but just tears for Maj and Jae Young.
The item version, yes.
Yeah.
They are stacking up the tears. And this first dragon is probably going to be alive for a while, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, Sona Seraphine are exactly the best at taking objectives with someone. They don't exactly provide a lot of damage. I mean, it's just kind of like can Nocturne solo it, because it's like at the same time, it's like Hank and Strawberry are just going to kind of get poked at and prodded at this whole game.
Pickles.
So like,
More like
yeah, just riveting gameplay down there. I really love to see it.
Yep. Yep. A little bit of an advantage for match so far. Not too significant, but.
Don't you love when this was at Worlds? Do you remember when this was like a big thing when teams were actually picking this?
Vaguely. What year was that?
I think like 3 years ago.
Okay.
I just remember seeing teams doing it and booing them and going, "You suck" and stuff.
Yeah, fair. I wonder if there's people booing in Twitch chat right now.
Oh, I hope so. This
Deserve for okay. What's more cringe though? This is actually, I think, an interesting question, as I think this is a dragon start happening from Notoriety.
Oh,
they are gonna be able to get
nice.
this first dragon, so that's quite nice actually for the side of the Spire to be able to get that early neutral. But what do you think is more cringe? Is it the Seraphine Sona combo, or is it just Yuumi in general?
Yuumi.
Yeah, Yuumi still.
I don't even have to think.
So
I don't even have to think. Yeah.
We're, I think, relatively speaking, we're okay with the Sona Seraphine.
Yeah.
We're just gonna chalk it up. We're gonna put it in the smart drafting column.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I think it's more the smart drafting combo. I will caveat this. If you were playing this in Arena, I hate you. You're a bad person.
Oh god, do people do that?
Yeah.
Oh, that is
because you can't kill them and then you just die to the like fire the circle thing.
Oh man, yeah, that's whack.
Yeah, and when you hit those like fruit things, you get extra like ult cooldown reductions. So Sona just hits them, like stuns you, and then Seraphine ults you, and then Sona stuns you again.
Oh, and Sona's probably like buffed in Arena as well, because so much. And Summoner's Rift, the champion, is based around like the passive where you're stacking ability base. So in Arena, she probably just gets a bunch of that for free.
Yep.
Dang, that is pretty gross. But what's not gross is Notoriety really having a very nice focus on these neutral objectives. Oh, that's not nice either. Hank gonna get charmed up by the Encore. The beat drop going to land as well. This Jinx. Oh, I don't think you can stick around under this turret, Hank. Oh, you should have just ran when you had the chance. The high note comes out and Madge takes him down.
Okay. Well, we got grubs as well, so we're on our way to claiming the feats in that way, right? We just need to get a tower and or 3 kills. Either of those can happen too. And I mean, Nocturne is 6 now. We got the ultimate from our mid laner as well. So like, I feel like we just kill Smolder. That would be my suggestion to you. Hank? Okay, he's fine. Taxi, not interested right now. Just wants to kill this Gromp.
Yeah, does really want the Gromp, and just barely got the smite back off cooldown.
Yeah.
Able to secure that one, barely in time as well. If we get a Braum passive stacked up on that guy, he would have been in some big trouble. But he's going to be fine. Takes the Gromp, makes his escape. Did see a Dominus pop there in the top lane for Perspicacious. Not really able to get too much done with it.
Nope.
We'll be able to take a Scuttle Crab. That Scuttle Crab really had it coming. He is dominating that Scuttle Crab Storm.
That's good. Yeah, you know, Scuttle Crab is very scary when he fights back, right?
Denial just ulted the minion wave. If that isn't a commentary on the state of this early game, I don't know what is.
Okay. Oh god, man. So who do you think's got the worst skin this game?
The worst skin?
Yeah, who's looking the best? Who's looking the freshest? I like the matching pinkness from Hank and Strawberry here in the bot lane.
Really
the
nice
ultimate skins on the other side.
Yeah. Interesting that Madge, that's like the ultimate Seraphine skin where there's like different forms to it, right?
Yeah, and this is the young one? I don't know.
Yeah. The Rising Star or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, interesting
anyway.
choice there. I guess maybe I don't know. I feel like the like more mature sound for the Seraphine maybe would jive a little bit better with like the DJ Sona kind of vibe, where they're both kind of into like pop EDM kind of.
Yeah, I mean we have selected the EDM playlist as well. This is like the Sona one, right? You get to select the between the different music, and we're on the like EDM one right now.
Yeah, and I feel like that version of the Seraphine skin is almost like T-Swift vibes, where you're like teenager with an acoustic guitar playing like country music. I don't know. They're making
for sure. Yeah. But the rest of their team, green. I don't love the pink and green color combo. I think that's a bit of a clash.
It's not the worst, but yeah, I hear you. It's not. It's like almost Christmas, right? It's like almost green and red, but not quite. It's like a little bit off.
Yeah, but I'm probably not the person to talk about this as the colorblind guy, so.
Probably not. Yeah, actually, I'm not sure if you're qualified, but that's all right. We did need to find something to talk about, so. Maybe now's the time to go back to that discussion we almost had earlier about like NA possibly getting stomped at Worlds again.
Oh, yeah, this is a great time to talk about that. How do you feel about Bwippo claiming that females...
I think I feel the same way that pretty much everybody else feels about that statement. And probably at this point, he also feels that way about that statement. I hope, anyway.
Yeah, this is just Bwippo putting his foot in his mouth. He does this every year. I'm surprised it was this stupid, because he's had I'm pretty sure he still has a long-time girlfriend. Oh, we canceled a base for Maj. There's a...
I thought I saw a tweet. Oh yeah, base cancel. Yeah. Riveting stuff there, Storm. Thank you for that. But I believe I saw a tweet.
This is feats. Oh, if this goes over.
All right, well, let's take a look at this dragon fight. What's going to go down here? There's a blast cone for Caxi. So he could potentially get into this pit if he would like to. He doesn't have vision, though.
Caxi is the smite
guy.
Get
it with the W, and he does choose to dash in, but then does immediately have to flash out. So that is going to be the feat of Monster Slaying. Meanwhile, Perspicacious going to have to flash away from the Ram, as that is a little bit more of a meaningful trade of ultimates between the top laners that time around, and now getting the better end of it, able to take away that summoner spell as well. So maybe the orange counter pick really is something.
Yeah. Here's something else. Can we get a check-in on our smolder stacks? How's that going?
Oh, good call.
106.
At the
That doesn't
moment.
sound like a lot.
Don't love that. No.
How many?
Sarah's
Sarah?
gonna get going between a couple of worlds. Mom does come down, and in comes the Nocturne. And there's the combo, right? The Aurora Nocturne.
Yeah.
That's what we need to see from the Spire. They got those dragons as well.
Yeah, I just feel like maybe we should have done that level a couple of levels ago. Maybe.
Yeah, I mean, I guess they maybe
Oh,
just didn't.
Jaeyoung ulted.
Okay. Denial is what is Denial doing? He's
I don't
charging
know,
away
man.
from the Renekton. Okay, he's leaving. He's out of there.
Yeah.
Perspicacious really doesn't want him to be out of there. He's like, I want to punish this guy so bad. He just walked past my turret. It was so rude. But he's not going to be
That's a TP from Braum to top lane.
Okay. Braum's in the top lane now.
Yep.
Yeah.
Summoner Spellbook. Value. Accrued.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it does, the using of the spells does reduce the cooldown on the swap. So
Yeah,
there actually was some value there. So
Hank, I'm sorry, buddy, but you gotta run to your tier 2 here.
Yeah.
You guys are
I
just
kind of
lost your
wish
first tower.
that the teleport had gone to the bot lane and maybe instead of the top lane, perhaps. Denial, though, now is going to go for this 1v1 against Perspicacious. Doesn't win it this time around. Maybe if he still had a Braum here, it would have worked out a little bit better.
Oh, there's an R combo here.
All right, and the Dominus has timed out, and Perspicacious is going to get solo killed by the Ornn. Oh my goodness.
Ornn counter pick, baby.
Ornn counter pick indeed.
Okay, we lost first turret too, so
It's like
hey, but you just
trade.
yeah, but you just need one more kill, right? And that's feats, and those matter quite a bit, I think, because everyone on your team is going to build Merc treads, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Or I guess you can build armor instead if you want, but you just build one of those boots and you upgrade them, and that's really helpful.
No, it's good. No doubt about it. The lane swapperoonie coming out here from Omega. They're gonna send the what did you call it? Sonaphine? The Sonaphine. Gonna be coming up into the top lane now. But the Rift Herald has already been taken. I imagine that was probably the thought process, as they wanted to come up here to try to get some prio around the Rift Herald. That didn't really end up happening. But they are in the top lane now. Well, they already took the tier 1 in bot, so...
one bot, right, yeah. That's more what I was thinking. You've taken tier 1 bot, you just get to sit up here. And Jaeyoung, actually knowing how his champion works, put the Q form on to give his AP. Okay.
We're looking for the pick onto a Renekton this time. That's a little bit more challenging, but they're going to get the fear down. Perspicacious going very low, gets a little bit of a heal from the Cool to Make, but still, the Aurora Nocturne combo is going to do its work well. Another kill over to Notoriety. He's 2-0 now on the pick. Meanwhile, Cacti charging forward, gets the flash out from Hank. Glacial Fisher coming out from Strawberry as well to peel away that Jinzhou. We're not really able to turn it around in a meaningful way, though. So, nice jump in there from Caxi. Gets the flash out from the Jinx.
Yeah, and it's 45 seconds till their Dragon Point comes up. And now their ADC doesn't have flash. That's pretty big.
Ooh, Notoriety taking a big chunk. Is able to spell shield, I believe, one of the Smolder Qs. Keep himself from being in too much danger there. But the Nocturne now farming some Raptors. Not really going for the reset. So is the Spire just not really too concerned about this next dragon? They're not really going to be in position to fight for it.
Yeah, I don't know what the plan is here. Because, they're just running. They just decided they want to be in a bigger death ball. They know Renekton isn't quite here yet, and they're hoping that they can just get this snap with this Nocturne ult and the Ornn ult, right? We're just going to wait for Nocturne to ult.
Fair enough. Encore. Going to only find the Braum. That is a big tool down for Omega.
Snap.
Shelly
Call.
up in the mid lane. Call the Forge God comes out. Gets a knock up onto 3. Very nice. The Nocturne ult is still on. Cooldown Storm. And that is going to be the kill, though, onto the Seraphine. Mom does come out, but cannot finish off the Aurora. Perspicacious finally arriving to the team fight. Strawberry Frog does still have the flash, manages to get away using the flash. Just the one kill onto Madge. That is a critical part of the Sonaphine combo. And now the flash in for Perk that finds the stun onto Hank, who does have the cleanse, barely survives. And now the Paranoia coming out, diving onto Cactus, does flash away. Now Notoriety also having to flash away. A little bit wild there towards the end of the fight, but still advantage the Spire for now. But a teleport back in for Madge. There's that teleport for the Seraphine, coming in kind of clutch. And it looks like it will be Omega picking up their first dragon in the end.
Yeah, and I mean, they got their, they're almost running the Seraphine Sona out of mana. Ironically, one of the only ways to beat Sona, her mana costs are ridiculously high, and she casts spells all the friggin' time. One of the only ways to beat this, so maybe they're able to keep these fights super prolonged like this and get that as a win con. I don't know, man.
Yeah, I mean, there were some pretty thin margins, honestly, in that last fight. When first flashed in there, I thought for sure they were going to be able to finish off Hank, but the Jinx still had cleanse, barely survived. And then the trades of flashes between the junglers at the end as well was pretty intense. Turk going to go down there in mid lane. That's actually pretty big that tier 1 is going to drop. That's going to make it more difficult for Omega to contest future dragons.
Also, you know, the Baron vision and stuff like that we do see that there is quite a lot of vision on this top side here for both of these teams, that despite it not spawning for quite a while, that is the Akaton up in the top lane, because absolutely nothing happened in the bot lane of any worth.
Oh, yeah. Exactly right. Interesting matchup here, as Madge was temporarily taking up residence in the bot lane against Big Sugar's Aurora, but I imagine that's... I mean, I guess Smolder does like to be in mid lane. We can stack more. Fair enough, I suppose.
We are at 200 stacks now.
He's managed to accelerate pretty nicely. Now, very, very close to that 225 breakpoint. Is for sure going to have it, I think, for the next big team fight.
Yeah.
So Omega, they've been on the back foot for most of this game so far, but their Smolder coming online, and Sonathine continuing to scale as well.
I'm just I'm wondering what the call is going to be. When's the point of we are going to use all of our ults together, right? Because that's the only real way that anything's going to happen this game, is the side of the Spire are going to press their ults together, right?
Yeah, and they're going to do that right now. Looking for Perspicacious. It does go into the Dominus. Get a little bit of extra health. There is nobody coming to help this Crocodile. He is just going to get taken down. Denial picks up the last hit, and Otacon right there for the taking. The Omega pushing up in mid lane. They're going to take this tier 1 in mid, and then will they look to... Oh, they're actually not going to go for the Otacon.
I don't think they have the damage to, right?
Yeah, I suppose you're right. It would have been extremely slow.
Yeah.
As Hank was not there, was unsuccessfully trying to defend that tier 1 turret in the mid lane.
And we do see Bug Sugar starting to bail on the bot tower with absolutely no one around, and hasn't really done much to it. Maybe we'll get it with this extra push if they want to stick around here. Should be able to claim this.
The scaling conversation between these two drafts is so weird. Because it's like, obviously Omega scaled very well, but it's not like the Spire's composition falls off. Like, they're still gonna have the Ornn making everybody stronger.
Yeah.
The threat and size of the Nocturne Aurora is never really going to go away.
It's just it's weird, right? Because as the like Renekton and the Xin Zhao, you have to build some sort of damage because your bot lane is just providing you utility. It's like we see this cleavers come through and this stuff, but like you need as Renekton to go for like the Spear of Shojin or something, right? You can't just build like the kind of normal tank stats that you would expect when you have like a Smolder.
Right.
And I mean, that should mean you match up better against, you know, Denial Hurts in the side lane as well. But we'll have to see if he's able to kind of get it through and start building it. Because, like, being 0-3-0 on Renekton at this point, and you're behind an Ornn and you are unable to touch him, right? This just feels miserable.
Yeah, the Ornn feeling like a pretty solid counter pick so far. In the 1v1 anyways. As Saren, a little bit late to the party here in the top lane, but is eventually going to be able to clear out that minion wave. Big Sugar did get a good chunk on that tier 2 tower, though.
Since I just built a Sterix gauge.
Second. Interesting.
I
Yeah.
hate that a lot because he has not built any extra health.
Sterix has health.
And that's what that... Yeah, that's the only health he's got for the shield. It's only your bonus health.
Thunder Sky has health as well. As now we do have a big Crescent Guard coming out from Caxi, rather. Splits up the team fight very nicely. That's the W connecting onto the knocker, but he's created the space, and now the Purification's going down. That's the passive for Hank as the Jinx cutting forward, gets another one. Now Caxi, though, diving forward. Mom as well. That's going to be Hank hiding back in. Big Sugar blasting forward. Finishes off the Sona. Now Caxi knocked up by Denial. Tries to get on top of the Aurora. Does barely. It's a Smolder, actually. Sarah takes it down. Now flashing forward. The stack. Oh, there's so many low health. He needs one more Q. The flash away for Denial to deny that Q from being cast. Saren, though, wants to test him. It's only the little dragon. He doesn't have any vision in the pit. He doesn't have any vision of anything in this river right now and will have to back away. Soul point for the side of the Spire. They are very close now, you have to feel, to tying up this series.
Yeah, I mean, this is just how you have to play this comp out, is you have to play with patience, right? It's all about utilizing the shields that Sona Seraphine give you and prodding the enemy team, right? And just getting those incremental little wins over and over and over again, and with the smolder damage and stuff like that. But that's not happening, right? It's just the enemy team's throwing themselves into them, and everyone's dying. That Jaeyoung and Maj are going down, and I mean, if they're
feel like, finish your point,
I was just like, yeah, my point is, like, they just have to utilize their stuff together, right? They need to be grouped, and they need to start hitting people when they're shielded. Like, I don't get it, man. Why are we not trying to force something harder?
I do feel like Omega were mostly grouped at the start of that last fight, but it did feel like partway through, they kind of split up a bit, like there were members trying to finish off.
Strawberry.
Braum doing a little bit of face checking here. The Banana Brush does put up the Unbreakable, tries to jump over to Notoriety, but no escape to be found for the Braum. So a nice pick for Omega. It's only on to the support. Can they get anything off of this?
Atacon, right? It's right there.
Yeah, they can try, but, you know, a similar story to... Oh, Caxi gonna dive forward. Bella's Breath a little bit early for Denial. He does dash away and gets stunned up there by Perch. The Renekton a little bit far forward here.
Yeah, no, they just
Remember,
fight.
Omegas need to be fighting together. There's a decent encore coming out, but Jaeyoung going down so low. Hank so close to getting that reset, but not quite able to find it. And the death ball for Omega will reign supreme. They take down the Jinx.
Look at Sugar.
Take down the Aurora. Big Sugar a little bit late. His team is already dead, and the Aurora will just be the last to fall. Triple kill for Perspicacious. He had 0 kills before that fight. Now he's got 3, and Omega squarely in the driver's seat. So does that fix the issues you were seeing before, Storm? Are we back on track now?
Yeah, I mean, they grouped up together and they deathballed, and holy crap, wow, it's working really well. I mean, you didn't see Hank, who was like, oh, I'm gonna auto and I'm gonna like attack Sona, right? And got those huge autos off, and it's like, oh my god, Sona's almost dead. And then it's like, oh, you're in range of this, and now Perspicacious and Caxi are on your face and you die. And that's how I just thought this game was gonna go, like, the entire way through. So that fixes a lot of the problems. Baron giving them some time and some pressure. I honestly want them to get Atacon as well. I don't know if they're going to be able to. I think Saren's just waiting to finish an item there in base. And now you guys just group as 5 with this Baron and shove it down the enemy's throats. Like, get it in him somewhere.
Yeah, the only kind of annoying thing having Baron with this comp is you really only want to play on one lane, right?
Yeah.
So it's hard to really get like an extreme amount of value with the Baron buff. But I think just walking as 5 down mid is a
Yeah.
perfectly reasonable play that they would be
Call.
pretty
Yeah.
happy with. So
I feel like, yeah, you should be just walking as 5 down mid. I don't care that Aurora's top lane, and I don't think they should either.
yeah, well, they definitely don't care about the Aurora, but they do seem to care about this bot lane. That's where Perspicacious is currently taking up residence. He does have the teleport.
I don't like this.
Okay, I mean, not Big Sugar is alone, but you don't really have a great way to jump onto this Aurora. So they're looking for the Otacon here. There's the teleport coming in from Perspicacious. No vision on the Otacon right now for the side of the Spire. They're going to try to force their way in here. They do get a control ward down in the Tribush. Otacon has gone down extremely low already. Does Notoriety beat himself in there to go for the steal? He does it, but he cannot get it. And the Nocturne now will be taken down in the Death Ball. Look at them moving forward as a unit. The Encore does connect on to 2, but oh my god, the damage from the Jinx was insane. Hank does end up going down as well, and it's just a 2v2 now. Smolder Seraphine, the Smoldaphine, versus Aurora Ornn. The Aurorn. And both sides will just walk away. And now we have to kind of consider this next dragon spawning storm. It's coming up in 10 seconds. And the Baron, they didn't get anything with the Baron. I suppose they got 1,500 gold, technically.
They got Otacon, which is valuable.
That's true.
Yep.
They get them the Otacon, or help them get the Otacon.
Mm-hmm.
So that was good. Not great, but definitely good.
No. Yeah. Okay. So now the question starts being, okay, well, I have 2 thoughts in my head. Number 1 is, can you buy a Serpent's Fang on someone somehow?
Yeah.
Because I think it's starting to get to the point.
Well.
Yeah, right? Jinx, of course, does not want to buy it because it's not a crit item. Okay, we're just fighting. Never mind.
Dragon started up. Big Sugar does find that open on the 5, but they didn't take any damage. The shields are there, and the Aurora and the Nocturne are going to instantly be destroyed, and the Smolder is just going to easily clean everybody up with the executes. As Omega did that thing where they just walked in as 5, and the Spire did not have an answer.
Goodbye. So this is how this comp works is eventually they just get to a point where you don't hurt them anymore and they just keep running at you in a death ball, and they have all of these ridiculous stats on top of the death ball running, and you just lose. Like, that's still an Aurora that's like full pen. Like, I don't think you can buy anymore, right? They have the feet boots, and they have like their
She did not have the 3rd item. I don't think the Void Staff was completed.
Oh, was the Void Staff not completed?
Just
okay.
Completed it after dying.
Well, yeah, and they're level 16 as well, right? Like, that ult isn't gonna start magically, like, getting this next huge upgrade is, like, a full, like, 3,600 gold away. So, I'm worried. It's all about, can you somehow let Jinx hit people? And I don't think Hank ever can.
It does feel like we've perhaps reached the event horizon for this Omega draft. And it may come down to a mispositioning or some kind of mistake for Omega that the Spire are relying on at this point. It does feel like if Omega are 5 champions on top of one another, there's just no way to deal with that. There's the Spire, they don't have the tools to deal with that.
Yeah, I mean, Maj just finished their Rylai's. They have the Seeker's Arm Guard inventory that isn't broken as well. Like, they're gonna finish their Zonias pretty soon here. And like, what do you do, right?
It's so hard. It's really, really tough now for the Spire. I think Big Sugar in the side lane right now is kind of what you need to do. Like this is kind of your hope in the game right now. Is that's the strength and the weakness of Omega's draft, right?
Yeah.
Is they need to be 5 people on top of one another. So you
Yeah.
can play to make the map bigger, right? Play for sides. Aurora, as we discussed previously, not an amazing split push champion by any means, but she's still more useful there than in the 5v5 at this point in the game.
I mean, yeah, I feel like Saren just needs to just hit this tower. Like
Yeah.
like
It has
instead
to
of
be
just
hit,
trying to
too.
hit, yeah, instead of trying to hit people, he just needs to hit this tower, and like it's gonna die in 2 or 3 ways. Like it doesn't matter if you're only autoing it once or twice. You're so fed at this point.
So for Big Sugar, what if you just like
Yeah.
teleport to top lane right now? Just like desperately try to push the wave where there's no
Brother
Omega
by a
member
Lich Bane or
defending.
something. Like I don't know what to tell you,
Something.
man. Yeah.
Okay, they're actually
Okay,
gonna pull
here's
the
the
trigger
call.
here in mid. Perspicacious is not here. They finally knock him on 2, and Omega are split. They're not grouped up as 5, but still his smoother damage is so insane. He takes down the Aurora, and Saren is just too scaled. He is a dragon. He has too many scales, and that is just gonna be the end of the game right there. 4 for nothing in the team fight. Perspicacious was able to teleport in, group up with the team, and that is gonna do it. Notoriety, no way
Yeah.
to defend. Minion wave coming in. Man,
Here it is. Here's the game over.
I do feel like the Spire did play better in this game, though.
Yeah.
I liked a lot of their angles in
100%.
this game number 2 a lot more. But they did just end up getting outscaled in this one.
Yep. And I think that is the worst feeling loss imaginable. Is just looking at the enemy team and going, I don't know how I'm gonna win that one. And it's like we played so well and we did all these combos right, and it just didn't matter, right? But
Yeah.
that is the like death blow of the ego and like everything going wrong. I don't know what to say anymore. Just nice draft, Omega.
Yeah, I mean, I thought the Spire they played the early game out well, right? If we remember back, Notoriety was stacking those neutrals. They had the first 3 dragons, I believe. Were the third dragon I think was contested, but the
Yeah.
first 2 were just taken for free
Yeah.
by the Spire. They got all 3 grubs. We
Grubs.
saw the Nocturne Aurora combo work for them multiple times. They were actually able to find picks with the Nocturne Aurora combo. But at some point, yeah, it just felt like they took their foot off the gas pedal a little bit, and Omega were just kind of able to play the game out the way that they wanted to with this draft. And there was there was no counterplay after a certain point. It was just like the Spire just ran out of answers.
Yeah, eventually the Seraphine shield was bigger than the damage Aurora was doing, right?
Yeah. What do you think was really the turning point in this game? Because I still feel like the Spire did what they needed to in the
Yeah.
early game. Like if they had been able to keep accelerating, and I remember even saying at one point, like they got their 3rd dragon, I was like, oh, they're
Yeah.
like clearly know what to do with this composition. Like I'm anticipating them closing out this game and tying up the series. They weren't able to do it. Was there one point in particular, anything you can think of where you're like, they should have played this sequence out differently, or if this other thing had happened or
mean,
not happened?
It's like obviously like when you look at like that top lane fight around that tri-brush, right? When Hank went up to hit the Seraphine, hit the Sona, that was like the
Oh,
point of no return, I think. Is that
before
fight
the
right
Baron
there?
take, right?
When the Baron happened, right?
Yeah, where the
Is
Baron was
that
taking him, yeah.
yeah, is that like put the game from like Jinx was on par or like even in items or a little bit ahead of Maj, right? To Maj now is equal to you and now has 3 levels on you. It seemed to be
Yeah.
like that snap, right? Of like
Mhm.
Jinx, I feel like was level 14 for like 5 or 10 minutes. It just seemed like they were just forced to sit and try and hit things. It's so hard with this comp because it just feels like a gradual slow death is like the only way I can describe it. It's just chipping away at you. It's just the river going against the rock and it's just breaking down and eroding slowly and slowly.
Yeah. Oh,
Mm.
that must be pretty mentally defeating, yeah, to play out a game like that. Definitely doesn't sound fun. But yeah, it felt like maybe in a couple of those critical moments, either the Spire just like didn't realize that Omega were all grouped as 5, or they just like forgot how they needed to
Yeah.
play against this draft, and just like a couple of key moments. But yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, the Spire, they had a lot of things going for them in this game, which honestly probably just makes it even more devastating to end up taking the L.
I mean, I feel like for MVP, I'm giving it to Saren. I mean, sure, you can give it to Seraphine or Sona or whoever, but like, it's not Cax, it's not Renekton, it's not Purse, right? That was an ugly Renekton game.
Hey, he got counterpicked. It's not his fault.
Yeah, that's fair. He did get counterpicked as Renekton. It wasn't Caxi either. I don't think he did anything like notable this game. And Saren killed everyone, right? Eventually. It's like
He did.
Maj and Jae Young didn't do anything like insane either. It's not like they got like multi-man, 5-man combo ults or something. They just kind of rolled their face on their keyboards a lot. So yeah, Saren gets MVP, I think, and I'm pretty sure we're almost ready for drafting game 3 as well.
All right. Well, I guess we'll either go to a break or a game 3 draft. Surprise me.
涙よ星に瞬きを伝えて守るものがあるからきっと強くなれる語るべき言葉なくした星の守りでは時の果て夢の果て闇に立ちすくんだ風を呼んでみたんだ空に向けて誰かを呼んでみたんだ光求めたソリチュードかすかなレゾナンス確かに届くロマンスそんな流れ星たちを抱き留めた明日が見えなくだって乗り越えなくちゃって奇跡の奇跡描き未来へつなぐ Growing High 心のフォトンが銀河にこぼれて道を強く照らす Burning Bright それぞれの思い秘めた星の守り手は空からの呼ぶ声に導かれた重ねる手と手には言葉なんかより伝わることがある
All right, everybody, here is that game 3 draft as promised. The Spire electing to stay on red side once again here, Storm, but there is one very big change to take note of.
Yep. The hero is here. Poop Sock Bossman has risen from the dead. So let's see if he can pull off the reverse sweep with the rest of the Spire.
Yeah, gonna have to win 3 in a row here to try to keep his team in the tournament. And it has to start right now in this game number 3. I imagine the bans will continue to stay the same, most likely. As oh, is that Caitlyn band different? Actually, I believe that's
There's a Poop Sock shout out to them, like
Ah.
ban targeted towards them, right? There is a lot of hyper carries still available in this series, which is a pretty big note for them. Like his Vayne is still up. The Zeri he's played somewhat frequently. I don't know. We'll see what the Spire's cooking, right? Because I feel like if they're taking this red side pick again, it's about a counter pick. So it's not about the Poop Sock show to me anyway. Especially with Jinx off the table, and they kind of most of the things facilitated around like a kind of normal wombo combo are gone that the Spire has been taking. So Maokai taken.
So, the Maokai, the Amumu was banned away instead of the Maokai by the Spire.
Silas.
Yeah, he's so strong in the jungle right now. You could flex him to
Yeah.
mid as well. You can even flex him top as it's more, more unusual.
I don't care where you put him. You take Silas, man. I think is my thought process. Or you go balls to the wall and you pick something crazy in the jungle.
Yeah, other things, notable things that are open. The
That's
Jax.
Zaya just got picked.
Oh,
There's no picture.
interesting.
That's a Zaya Rakan.
Interesting. Yeah. That feels a bit weird into the Maokai. I mean, obviously can be a strong duo. But
Yeah.
it does feel a little bit weird to go for it this early. Because now
Yeah.
Omega can just pick range / poke, and that Featherstorm value is not really going to be there. A Cassandre coming through in the top lane for Perspicacious. So
Whatever, man.
heavy front line for Omega. Whatever. What do you mean, whatever?
I mean, at this point, I feel like it's like, okay, you don't need to bother picking a top laner right now. There's too many things that are good into Cassante to like be baited into it and like have it randomly go somewhere else. I really feel like you need to take Silas right here, right now.
They're going to take the Jax. So the Jax is something that was banned by Omega earlier on in the series. That was one of their bans in the previous game, in game 2. So that is going to be taken for denial.
Yeah, it's their most played top laner this season.
It's like fine into Cassante, right?
Yeah, it's pretty good. I mean, he got those like R buffs for like the extra armor, which against Cassante does matter somewhat, but I don't think it's that big a deal. Misfortune as a ban. Okay, well, there's the Silas gone. Goodbye.
Yeah, it makes sense that the Silas is now going to get taken away. The Misfortune would be a really strong combination with the Maokai, right? Where it's Nature's Bullet Time.
That's fair.
So that when being taken away actually does, I think, make some sense. What other AD carry here are you looking to take away? Oh, it's Jay's Swain is going to get banned away. He did not win that Swain game, but I guess he did enough with the Swain to make the Spire decide to ban it.
Is Maj just not playing Varus? That's like his favorite champion, right? And Zaya and him are like the same auto range.
Yeah, the Varus would definitely be pretty good here. Interesting that he's been ignored so far tonight.
Yeah.
But yeah, they had the Sivir, which is obviously very high prio in game 1, and then they had their Sonaphine shenanigans in game number 2. So I guess he just hasn't really had a chance to go for it. But I think it would make a whole bunch of sense here, especially because, as we know, Madge likes playing the on-hit version of the Varus, right? When you have Cassante Maokai frontline, they should be able to create a whole bunch of space for you to do a lot of hitting. So that, I think, could definitely work out pretty well. And obviously, you have the Piercing Arrow range in the laning phase to make Zaya's life very difficult. So I imagine come through. Jax Sejuani. Pretty strong combo.
Yeah, I really wishing we picked Silas even more now.
Oh man, Silas mid here would round out that Spire composition absolutely wonderfully. But yeah, not going to be an option.
What are we taking into play? Because
is it a Yone angle? You need
because our team needs wave clear like a person in the desert needs water, man. There's 0 wave clear. And there's, I don't think, you think they need AD? They have Jax and Zaya.
AP.
Oh yeah. AP, obvious. Sorry. Yeah. I think it's some sort of wave clear mage. I think you're taking like some sort of weird artillery mage thing, or you're being cringe and taking Morgana. I think Morgana's good. I don't wish that upon my worst enemy, but so I'd hope that's not the answer. That one isn't it. Okay, we picked Ari.
Interesting. Yeah, Ari is kind of like a dive forward, play aggressively, look for picks kind of champion, and that's like not really what Zaya wants to do at all. Yeah, it feels like Poopsock doesn't really have a composition around him that's really going to facilitate what he ideally wants to do in these fights. Maybe Zaya is like a relatively sufficient champion, but I think she really struggles into what Omega have here as well. I mean, she's good into Nautilus, I guess.
Yeah.
But Wei
Yeah,
and
that's it.
Ezreal are going to make her life. It's going to make Poopsock's life very, very difficult in these team fights.
Yeah, I don't like the Omega comp very much. So,
You don't like the Omega comp?
yeah, either. Do you?
I don't mind it. I mean, I think you've got a lot of front line. You have engage and disengage, and you have a ton of poke. So you can kind of play fights out like however you want, basically. If you want to play slow,
Okay.
you can play slow. If you want to engage, you have Nautilus, and Wei and Ezreal can follow up easily because they have all that range. I think it's fine. I don't have a problem with Omega's comp at all. What did you not like?
I think their damage is really low, is my major worry. They have a lot of CC and like burst and stuff, but like if they burn their, like, I'm just imagining a fight where Jax TP's late or something, or doesn't get immediately burst, right? What happens after we don't have Nautilus ult and Maokai ult and Jax is alive? Is my worry.
Maokai Q. Go
Okay.
away, you pesky Jax. Bramble Smash.
Yeah, okay.
Also, Ezreal has his arcane shift button to also
Yeah.
not be next to a Jax.
Yeah, I don't think Jax is worried about trying to kill Ezreal. I think he's worried about trying to beat up on everyone else. I think he's trying to hit kill away and stuff. But yeah, that's my thing, that like I don't love what they have. I think their comp's good, but I'm just an Ezreal hater. I'm one of those people that like
Really?
unless you are someone who has poured ridiculous amounts of hours into Ezreal, I do not think he is worth playing.
Yeah, I mean, as far as AD carries go, the Ezreal is something that that does have quite a low floor, right? Because so much of his damage is tied to skill shots.
Yeah.
Like if you miss your skill shots, then you don't really do anything. So,
Yeah.
you know that
And
there
none of
is
his items are any good, right? Like,
yeah, his build right now is pretty weird as well. That's fair. I just played an Ezreal game the other day, and like the enemy team had a lot of range, and I was like, well, I don't want to build Trinity Force because like I'm never going to be auto attacking in this game. But like I didn't know what else to build on Ezreal right
Yeah.
now. It does feel really weird. Like you can't really build a lot of like the assassin items were like nerfed for ranged champions. So like he doesn't really like to go. What did he even used to build? He used to build like that item where you went invisible, Duskblade, I think.
yeah.
That's obviously
Yeah, he
gone.
was like lethality
Uh,
and stuff, right?
Yeah. So
Or like he was a
lethality
big
items
frozen
definitely don't
fist
get-
user as well, like back when that
Mhm.
was like an actual Sheen item that was like good, not terrible like it is now, because Ezreal
Yeah.
got a hold of it.
The one
But yeah,
thing that- Go ahead.
go ahead.
Okay. Well, I was just going to say that jumping off your Ezreal point again, I was just gonna respond to that one more time. Is I do think that because Omega's composition has so much CC, it should be fine.
Yeah,
Right.
Yeah.
If a target can't move, surely we don't miss
Yeah.
those cues. Right. So,
right.
I think
Okay,
it
that's
can be
probably a
handled.
fair point.
What were you gonna say?
I'm just kind of like of the thing of like I don't really like either of these comps, and I don't think either of these comps are like that easy to play either. Like I've been feeling this way, like Omega have been drafting like the very easy to play comps this whole way through. There's not a lot of easy to play champions in this game with Wei, Cassante and Ezreal, right? Like those are some very high execution required champions to play now, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah,
I don't
yeah.
think there's like that clear point for Omega anymore of me being like, okay, they have the easier comp to play and they should win off of that. It's like they have the easy part of their comp is like pressing Maokai R and then like running forward at the enemy team. But like honestly, I don't think Maokai R does a lot because like everyone can buffer it, right? Like Rakan can like
true.
sit in front of it and then buffer like to get to his teammates. Sejuani can buffer it with her Q as well. Like, and then everyone can just like stand behind them. Jax generally, I'm hoping to God, is just in a side lane and just not. This is another one of those games. It's just Jax says, "Hey, good luck in those 4v4 guys. I'm gonna go hit this tier 2 tower." Like, pro, please do not build like Azonias and stuff like that. This is a Bork game, man. go build your
Yeah.
best duelist life and have fun in the side lane. I think this game is absolutely miserable to teamfight as. I would not want to do it. I'm hoping that he doesn't have to.
Yeah.
I'm also hoping we put our Sejuani to a top lane path and we get Jax ahead, because if Sejuani goes bot, I'm going to be very disappointed in denial.
Yeah, we are waiting for notoriety. You mean you'd be
Yeah,
disappointed?
sorry.
Because
Yeah.
of the jungler, the Sejuani player.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, my bad.
Yeah, and you've got Jax Sejuani is like one of the most
Yeah.
famous combos, top jungle combos anyway in the game. So really, really, really would like. I mean, it is a Cassante who is notoriously almost impossible to kill, but if anybody can do it, it's Jax Sejuani, right? So
Yeah.
would definitely like to see them give that a crack. I will say that while I agree with your point that the way the Ezreal and the Cassante are all relatively difficult champions, I still feel like the way that Omega are going to be wanting to play out this game is very straightforward, right? They have their 2 carries, they have all of this frontline, all of this CC. It's very obvious. You're very happy to just front to back team fight this game, and you can just like basically wear down the Spire because you have plenty of damage and so much tankiness. So and disengage if you need it with the Maokai. So I think that while the champions can be difficult to play in isolation, I think they do synergize with each other relatively well. And I think ultimately we're going to see Omega play this game out in a very similar fashion to what they did in the previous game, where they just grouped up as 5 and showed up to the big objectives late game and just like walked at the Spire. And the Spire didn't have an answer.
As much, I don't know. I have a belief. I think I'm hoping what I've said has been listened to by Witch or something, and they're screaming at their team to do this. I think Spire's going to take this one and send us to a 4th game. As much as
Okay.
I would enjoy a 3-0 so that I can go gambling, I think this one's going to go a little longer.
All right. Well, we'll see, guys. Definitely the Spire, they have some really strong elements in this draft, but we need to see them coordinated. You know, we need to see them rise to the occasion here. Poopsock is back. He's back on the Rift for this game number 3. Will that be enough to get us that game number 4? We'll just have to wait and see.
She's such a misfit, always ready to brawl. It's like her business, roughing up your friends. The law, there is no difference. If you believe you're strong, she's a bulldozer, making sure you're flat on the ground. She's like a boomerang that never gives up. She flies in circles till she hits you and you're bowed in the dust. So just remember this: when she's chasing you down, face first, you'll be thrown into the proving ground. She'll knock you out. Have you ever really wanted to be a total rebel, flipping tables on the enemy? Did you ever try to further improve how fast you punch people through the roof? Oh, was there ever any certain time when you thought brute force and style combined? Well, I guess now's time to shine, 'cause finally she's here. Here comes Vine. As a matter of fact, the best bet one has is to quickly react to the first attack that's aiming for the wounds. She'll never pull back, just resist. く強く輝いて消えた流れ星ほら命が燃える何かに怯え走り続けたその虚しさの指示に何を見て何を探してきた自分の声がただ響く幾千万の星の中で惹かれて出会った守り手たちよ回る回る時の輪の中で自分の弱さ強さの先に同じ空誰かが見上げてるそう信じて消されない虹の奇跡が届けと冷たい指で涙拭ったあの君はもう帰れない水平線目指して飛び立つ自分の願いを抱いて幾千万の星に呼ばれ交わりすれ違う守り手たちよ回る回る時に抗って未来を願ってもいいですか儚さから目をそらしたぐり寄せる道の兆しの向こうかける希望あなたの光
All right, everybody, welcome back. Welcome onto the Rift for game number 3 between Omega Gaming and the Spire. Omega Gaming up 2-0 right now in this series. They are on match point. They need only one more Nexus to secure their spot in the next round of playoffs.
So as both teams are actually grouping together as 5 and doing something, I just want to point out currently we have lined up that it is Ezreal mid and Hui bot lane.
Yeah, we sure have. And that is indeed Saren piloting the Ezreal and Madge on the way. So, very, very, very interesting. I guess, I mean, Saren has already warmed up on AD carries, right? Played this motor last
Yeah.
game, so. And Wei, also good into Zaya. I'm not entirely convinced if it's as good, but it should still be good.
Yeah.
And you see Madge running the teleport there for 2 games in a row as well.
I mean, that's where it's locking. That's like, looking what's happening. I don't really know about this. I don't know how Ezreal mid does. Most of the time when I see Ezreal mid, they're building AP and I want to strangle them, so.
Yeah, well, hopefully not the case this time around. We do have a Doran's
Yeah.
Blade currently in inventory, so that's a good start.
Yeah, very good start.
Yeah, and yeah, I'm just really curious, more so than the Ezreal mid even, about how this Wei is going to go in the bot lane. Because I think if it's an Ezreal down here, you're pressuring pretty hard in this 2v2, right? Ezreal Nautilus, I mean, it can be sometimes a little bit difficult for Ezreal to follow up if there are minions in the way, but I would have expected that to be a lane that would put out a lot of pressure, so putting the Wei down there. Interested to see how that goes.
Oh, that was a good trade. By Denial, dodging out from the push, whatever that's called. Pathmaker, I think.
I believe you're right, yeah. Not entirely sure about most of Cassante's abilities. I believe it is the Pathmaker, though. The ultimate is the only one I've really... Oh, Dredgeline gonna land down here in the bot lane. Strawberry Frog goes back in, though, with the Grand Entrance. That's gonna be a trade of
Oh.
ignite. Oh, actually, yeah, trade of ignites. Both
That
supports
was pretty
really
big.
survive. Yeah, I
Yeah,
guess Jay
so
Young
I
have the flash there as well.
I will say this. I normally hate Xayah as well, but I think when Xayah has exclusively has their partner Rakan on the team, I think Xayah is a fine and pickable champion. Oh, we're going in.
Oh,
Is
another
this the
play
first
in the
blood?
bot lane. Madge does barely survive. That was extremely close. Oh, Jay Young going down. Oh, those feathers. Oh, but the comet. Oh, my goodness. Everybody on a blinking health bar down here. Thank goodness
And-
Madge has that teleport.
Yeah, I was just thinking about that. Gonna be able to reset and get right back into the thick of things here. Oh,
Yeah, I
okay.
think
I
he's
would
gonna be in
like
time
Jay
for
Young to
cannon.
reset.
Is he going to get the cannon? Yes, he does.
Jay Young's got it
Okay.
for him.
All right. Caxi is in the area and
Yep.
is wondering if maybe he can make something happen down here as they do kill Jay Young. But does that mean that they will also die? Oh, the Grand Entrance gets Caxi underneath the turret range. Strawberry still had the flash and will get away, and it's a clean kill for the bot duo of the Spire.
Okay, and Cassante is pushed up notoriety. Oh, for God's sakes.
Oh, come
It's
back, notoriety!
It's ready. Yeah, just go top lane, brother. It's not okay. It's okay. Cassante won't hurt you. I promise.
Why has the Sejuani only cleared 4 camps 4 minutes into the game?
I think we invaded
happened?
to look for blue buff and stuff like that.
Oh. Okay.
Uh-huh.
Well, I mean, it's not like Caxi got a whole lot done in the meantime, so it's fine. Yes, but would have really liked a top lane gank there. Maybe we'll get around to it at some point.
I too would have liked a top lane yank. But
Now the wave
anyway.
is pushing away from denial, so
Yeah.
the opportunity is gone for now.
So mid Ezreal not seeming to be doing too much here.
He's farming.
Yeah. He's got his tier. Burns teleport.
Oh. Oh, it's okay. We got the cannon, right? Okay, easy money. Very
Yep.
nice. All right, first dragon this game, Chemtech. Odds of a strong soul, relatively high. Have to see about that
Yeah.
second dragon to really get a clearer picture, but
I was about to say, I think
All
every
right.
dragon is strong with the exception of
here
Kentuck.
comes
Anyway,
the
let's see.
Sejuani. Saren is looking to put some pressure on Big Sugar. Does use the flash. Oh, really nice flash redirect there on the Winter's Wrath for notoriety. Picks up the kill, and that is going to be 2-0 on the board for the Spire, which
Okay.
they did have last game as well.
Yep, we're not cursing them though. And Big Sugar gets to save their TP as well. Maybe they're able to get that to unleash mode and then make a play somewhere as well. No, okay, never mind. I'll shut up now.
Yeah. So at least we did see some variety of gank come out from notoriety.
Yep.
So that is good. More of that, please.
I mean, I feel like our Jax is still a very valid gank target. He's hit level
Yeah.
6 now, so he has some additional damage to cut through this Cassante as well.
Yeah, Sheen battle currently up there on the top side.
Yeah. Which is kind of interesting because I mean, Cassante, I guess, is also so good with it because he has such a low cooldown ability.
Yeah.
Just
All
hit
right,
our
level
thank
6
you.
advantage there for denial.
Just
First
hit him.
stage has been a really tough spot. He killed the minion to get level 6, and now he's going for the all-out. Denial able to leap strike back to the minion wave, and it will just end up being a trade of ultimates between the top laners. 3-stack in the tri-brush right now to see if there's going to be a face-checking Maokai, but Caxi just concerned with some shellfish at the moment, and not going to be falling into that particular trap.
These honey fruits here, I'm guessing are for Mash, who's almost out of mana now his way. I don't know
No,
if
Jay Young's
they're-
going to eat them all.
Okay. You know what?
He was
Fair.
Hungry Nautilus. And Counter-Strike gonna land, but Perspicacious buffers the... What was it called again? Pathmaker. Very nicely.
Yeah. Pathmaker. Okay. Caxi has... Okay, not starting it.
Thought about it.
Thought about it?
Still thinking
Thought
about it.
Thinking about it. Now we're starting it. Okay.
All right, we had the bot Prio. Bot
Yeah.
lane moving over here. Way without items, not the most help at killing dragons, but gonna be help enough. And Maokai is actually surprisingly good at it with the Q on such a low cooldown.
Mhm.
Oh, that Dredge Mine
Sugar?
not quite going to land. Big Sugar trying to close the door on him actually right now. The quickness gonna get popped. Dragon Secure will be there from Taxi, who is down extremely low. Twisted advance to the other side of the
Mash
team fight.
is
Flash
stunned.
away. Stays alive. Madge is gonna get taken down. Jay Young flashing back over the wall. The flash follow is there from Big Sugar. Lands the charm. And the boss man gets his second kill. That is gonna be the feat of warfare secured for the Spire.
Yeah, I don't think Denial needed to TP to this play, but that's okay. Don't think Purse was really going to get anything with this. Generally, a Shield Bash champion is Cassante, so will, be not having Demolished. Probably only going to get one plate there for that. That'll be Grub secured as well, which should be really big. Maybe Bug Sugar, instead of hitting these, could just roam over and go kill this Cassante with his Jax, but I don't know.
Yeah, it probably is an option. Denial
Yeah.
actually doing decently in the 1v1 at the moment. Q3 available for Purse. Will that be enough? Dashes away the flash in. Oh, the flash to the other side for Purse, trying to get the Jax under the turret, and he was unsuccessful in that endeavor. So ends up burning the flash and dies. And that is 5 kills now for the Spire. Dredgeline gonna land in the bot lane. Grasping Maw comes out, but that's Rakan, so he's gonna dash away from the rest of Way's damage.
He had all out there, didn't he, to push him underneath the actual tower? Did he just not do it because he died or something too quickly? I don't know.
Not sure. Wait, does All Out still displace if there's not a wall?
Yeah, it pushes you a little bit, doesn't it? I thought if you it pushes somebody like 100 units or something. It's a very minor amount, but I'm pretty sure it still pushes you.
You might be
if
right.
You just press
I mean,
it.
if it's that minor, I'm honestly not even convinced it would actually have gotten Denial under the tower. Because it didn't actually really look that close to me, to be honest.
Yeah.
But Perspicacious clearly thought there was an angle there.
Yeah.
Was not able to find it.
And I mean, Ari down 20 CS, so this is definitely some sort of pick for Saren. Okay, Kaxi's here for the counter
2v2 in the top side. Gonna be able to perfectly assault the Maokai, and the Sejuani passive is there. Kaxi gonna be taken down. Notoriety getting the last hit. Nature's Grasp did come out before the Maokai was spelled, but that might not even be enough as Big Sugar on the roam over cleans up the Cassante, and the Spire are up 7-0 right now in Game 3.
Yeah, a pretty huge win so far for them. I mean, gonna have to see if they're able to really translate this into anything. I mean, they don't have feats quite yet. This is a play bot lane.
In
Is this
trouble.
another kill?
Despair for the slow. Oh, the Featherstorm really nice dodges away from the fear coming out from the way. Blako not going to get the root. The Dredgeline underneath the tower, and finally it will be the side of Omega on the board as they get 2 in the bot lane. And a little bit tragic there at the end as Strawberry going underneath the turret range to try to help Poopsock, and both of the bird people will go down.
Yeah. Okay. Well, not cleanly across the board wins so far, but getting really, really close, it seems, to being a Spire having a commanding lead, I feel like it's safe to say. Heartsteel, kind of the first real completed item this game coming out here already for this Sejuani. So hopefully they're able to start getting some ganks off to get those very satisfying noises coming through.
Absolutely. We love a good clang.
Yep.
As well. You know, the fact that the Spire were able to get all 3 of those grubs feels so amazing for the Jax specifically. I mean, you were talking earlier about how you just want this Jax to live in the side lane, right? And having the grub is such a huge boon for actually pressuring those turrets.
Notoriety's here for this gank.
All right.
We have R.
We love to see it. The Jax Sejuani combo. They're going to get the stun. Oh, Perspicacious actually buffers it decently well. He's already used the all out. The stun is there. Glacial Prison not quite available for Notoriety. It's just a few seconds away. If he had that, that would have been another kill. But at least they continue pressuring Perspicacious. They force out the ultimate. Give Denial Prio in that lane.
Yep. And I mean, this should Okay, he's staying. Never mind. You get this plate here, Jax, right? Okay, at least we get a plate here. I feel like that's an angle that you can look for the dive. You have E and you have R, but it is somewhat risky.
Ooh. Yeah, it'd be pretty risky to. I am almost always okay. A little bit of a fight breaking out. The quickness does come out from Strawberry, finds it on to 3. The Nature's Grasp as well from Kaxi to try to disengage
Look
this
at
one.
Sugar.
Jay Young is priced in. Poopsock does go up into the air with the Feather Storm. Sugar another roam down from mid lane. Kaxi and Jay both surely gonna go down here. At least Jay. Kaxi does have the Blast Cone. Looks like Will. Oh, don't bother with that ward, Kaxi. Just get on out of there. That's all right.
Yeah.
So 1 kill for the Spire, 1 more, I should say, as they continue to extend this lead. Looking for their first dragon of the game here as well.
And I mean, top lane as well. We're getting some plates there for Denial. Is able to just sit up there as well. I mean, Hextech Drake, tons of value in stats. The things everybody wants, CDR and attack speed. Love to see it.
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
And we're Ocean Dragon game soul this game, which is again a really big win for whoever is able to start getting these. Especially the poke for the enemy team, you know, the be able to resist that is so huge. And for the side of Omega, just getting more mana and stuff, right? I believe it gives mana. Oh, that was an E.
Yeah, very close to finishing off Big Sugar with that last Mystic shot. True Shot Barrage not available, or I'm sure he'd go for it. But yeah, I mean, for the side of Omega, no notoriety here now. But Saren should be totally fine here.
Yeah. Yeah, no ult for the Sejuani.
Niall just able to ward jump out of the way of the Maokai. Very easy there. But yeah, I mean, if Omega are able to get themselves the Ocean Soul, they have all these massive tanks on their team. Just going to get so much value from the health regen. So either team, yeah, I think would be very happy with this soul. Fortificacious does find the Q3, going to go for the all-out onto Denial, but the Jack's winning out in this 1v1 once again. First forced to flash away. And Denial really taking control in the side lane this time around. Frog, another beautiful engage on this Rakan, gets right on top of Matt. Another beautiful roam down from Sugar as well. Secures the kill. Saren flashing forward, does get the shutdown onto Sugar. The Blade Caller is there though. Roots up the Ezreal, but he will be all right. That was all the damage from Poopsock. Not able to finish off that Ezreal. And,
okay, I got worried for a second there.
Killing Kaxi alongside Notoriety. They're going to be able to fell the Maokai and take a Rift Herald as well.
Yeah, and that should give them feats. That is monster slaying if they are able to take this Rift Herald.
Yeah, Spire looking really good here in this game. Oh, Strawberry Frog just now going down. Kind of missed that one, but I guess we just dashed under a turret again, potentially.
Yeah, I'm hoping it was just an Ezreal landing, some sort of big poke or something. I'm just going to assume it was.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
The positioning of Rakan's body was quite suspicious, though, I must say. But we don't have to dwell on it anymore.
Yeah, I can't see it. It's not in my. It's not in my current.
It's gone
version.
now.
It's not. Yeah, it's gone.
All right. There's no evidence.
Yep.
Any longer. Perfect. As we'll have to see about this next dragon. That feels like it's going to be the next big moment in this game, potentially. A couple minutes away. 1 dragon apiece right now. You know, the Spire definitely with the upper hand at the moment. It feels like they've been doing a really good job, again, of driving the early game. But now we need to see them be able to follow through. They've got their boss man now, joining them once again on the Rift. Maybe they will be able to make it happen this time around. Scuttle Crab stolen away, I believe, there by the Sejuani. Yeah, did get it. And now, though, Strawberry Frog able to dash away the depth charge because the knock's up 1-2.
No.
And Big Sugar is just going to get blown to smithereens. Away damage is what takes him out in the end as Strawberry Frog tragically carrying that depth charge, I think, back to his mid laner.
Yeah, and Poopsock's
I'm
dead
going to
now.
get hooked in the jungle. He does have a Feather Storm, but it's not going to save him this time around. Madge gets the last hit once again. And that is a big punch back for Omega. The Dragon's still not up for a minute, though. There's still time for the Spire to reset, come back out, and still contest for that one. They're going to lose, maybe even 2 towers here, Storm.
Yeah, this is looking pretty dire. The thing we're always talking about, they just need to keep playing safe and they'll win this game. And as long as they keep this gold lead up, it'll work out. And then they throw the lead.
It's not fully thrown quite yet.
Ari's about to die. Does that make it thrown?
Oh, it's getting...
Oh, okay. I figured she was
Okay, now
dead there.
Taxi goes in. She still might be. Does have the Spirit Rush to try to get away. True Shot Barrage, and he nails it. Saren on 80 carries, man. Why didn't we see that earlier this season?
Yeah.
I guess maybe he was saving it. He's keeping it in the back pocket. Secret power picks.
Notice we are playing Frosted Ezreal, which is that secret Korean buff.
Oh, I missed that. Good note
Yeah.
there, Storm. I believe Saren also mentioned something during Auto Talk about cooking up some picks.
Yeah.
Maybe this is one of the ones he had in mind. As Dragon now been started up by Omega. Inside of the Spire trying to force their way into the river. Teleport for Big Sugar to join back up with the team. A Dragon not getting taken very quickly. It will be Omega peeling off of this
Saren
one.
is kind of isolated.
Yeah, a little bit chunked down as well. Taxi does get some vision with the Scryer plant. Doesn't quite have the Nature's Grasp available yet, though. They're just going to have to give this Dragon away. Smite is good for notoriety, and that's going to be the Spire up to 2 drags.
Yeah, but that's a top lane tower going down in response. And just another TP from Denial getting dragged in these fights where I really don't want him to be.
Went in there on the Zaya, who already
that's a
used the
hook.
Feather Storm, gets hooked in. And now the Nature's Grasp coming out, gonna lock
The
everybody in
Spiraling
place.
Despair.
The Spiraling Despair does so much damage, and he just burns down to the dot. It's double burn items for Maj. And as soon as that ultimate landed, honestly, as soon as the hook landed, I think Poopsock was just a goner.
Oh no. Okay, well, I feel like we've officially thrown our lead away. I think it's fair to say.
Yeah, it feels
There's
like
a
that might
2K
be the
lead
case,
for
yeah.
Omega, so
Mathematically speaking, the lead is no longer there. As maybe they can get it back still. As Jay Young very far forward, going to be tough with Nautilus to get away from this one. This grasping Maw though there from the way. Matt doing a great job of staying safe on the back line here, getting out relatively consistent damage. There's the flash in though from Denial, looking to get on top of that wave, but the fear is there already, flashing it. They can't kill Madge. He's still alive. And Denial been taken down. They extended so deep. They dove so deep to try to kill that way. And they just couldn't quite get him. Notoriety. Oh, gonna get hooked in by Jay. Another kill over to the side of Omega Gaming. And they've almost tied things up now in that department as well.
So I don't see a lot of bright spots anymore. Atacon is getting started. New guy probably going to go down here as well, because we've utilized every single one of our flashes and ults trying to burn for that kill on the Maj.
Yeah, I mean, you understand the thought process, right? It's a 2-carry composition for the side of Omega. The way is the easier target because he doesn't have a dash, and he, you know, they were very close to killing him.
Yeah.
But they just were trying to dive through the entirety of Omega to get there, and there's so much CC, there's so much peel on this team. It was just a bridge too far.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's not looking like this prediction I had anymore is going to go through about a Game 4 happening.
Yeah, but we have seen, you know, Notoriety playing around Denial on the top side during the laning phase. We saw multiple ganks up there. You know, again, we're seeing some bright spots for the Spire, but it's just a couple of key moments where, you know, Omega had just are very prepared to deal with what the Spire are going to throw at them, right? They obviously understand very well what their composition is good at, and they're just playing to their strengths.
Yeah.
And it's working.
And this is Shojin done on Ezreal for Muramana. Interesting to see.
All right,
Okay.
Denial. If the side of the Spire are going to come back, it does feel like once again it's going to have to be through the side lane.
Oh
Jumps
god, the
away from that
Pathmaker's
last
landed.
Info strike. And Notoriety is here once again. Looking to take down, but there's no turret here any longer for the Cassante. He's already used the ultimate. Should just be an easy pickup here, and they do get it. Denial gets the kill. 3 now on the Jax. Poopsock, the Featherstorm and mid laner to try to clear out the minion wave, but can't quite defend that tier 2 turret. So it just feels like an even trade overall, a kill for a tower.
Yeah, even though it was a shutdown, it's still just not worth it, right? That kill isn't translating into anything. Another tower here going down maybe for Saren, who's just so big.
And that just this kind of comes back to like the wave clear question that you were looking for.
Yeah.
That R5 Dredge line gonna land. Nature's Grass coming out from Caxi as well. Carrie's not in position immediately, but here they come now.
Storm's
Madge
just
and Saren
blowing up.
getting in there. Yeah, this 2-item spike on the Ezreal, obviously a very, very massive. Denial on the flank angle though. Can the Jax find the turnaround in the team fight? Jay Young with a beautiful Dredge line to get away from the counter strike, and Denial just has to run. Nothing he can do. 2 more kills for Omega. 10 seconds away from the next dragon as well.
Yeah, and Jax is forced to build and is playing this way of, I must group with my team. It's Sundered Sky, it's Trinity Force. I'm guessing there's going to be a Zonia's coming in soon as well.
Yeah.
And yeah,
I mean, at least he's consistent. He's building for
Yep.
team fights and then also showing up for the team fights. So,
that's fair.
yeah. But it's not quite working. Again, you know, we're seeing for Omega, they have all of these tools to disengage. Like, yeah, you have clear targets to go towards, but actually killing them, different matter entirely.
Yeah, seems rather difficult. And Baron is spawning now on the map as well. And it just becomes the thing of how do you get a pick as the enemy team sets up that vision, right? Because that's the only way you're getting back into this game is we're going to start playing for death brushes and picks. Right?
All right. Yeah, I mean, that's, yeah, it feels like for the Spire, they do have to resort to some guerrilla tactics at this point.
Yep.
They do have decent pick with the Ahri, as well as, you know, the single target CC from the Sejuani. The Rakan as well can be very helpful, trying to pick people off. So they have decent tools to go about it. But it's just getting harder to play out, it feels like, this game.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, we have still such a long time till the next dragon. No one's even on Soul Point yet, so that point doesn't matter. Akaton's already been taken. I don't really know if you want this fight, first, but Denial's running.
Well, it's 2 items versus 2 items. Now Denial has a
but no-
friend. Notoriety here
Yeah.
once again as well. The all-out does not get the Cassante over the wall, and he is just going to be beat down with the lamppost as Denial picks
Yep.
up killing him before. Yeah, first, that was a bit unnecessary.
Also, that's gonna lose your team. Oh,
Okay.
never mind.
No,
Strawberries.
that's
Okay, he's
Rakan.
fine.
He's fine.
Yep. That's a tower down for Jax, which is nice. Feel like Ezreal is gonna get this tower at this point. That's Muramana done now. This is 3-item Ezreal.
Oh, wow. Wait, didn't he have just 2 items like a couple minutes ago? Did he
Yep.
just like base and buy an entire...
Yep, Muramana. I think it was from a tier and a longsword, and he bought an entire Muramana. He is
Wow.
6-1.
I suppose he is, as that Dredge line is not quite going to land, but the said one, there's so much CC. He will barely manage to flash over the wall and stay alive, but obviously he will not be able to claim that red buff.
Okay, that was at least big for Denial. He got a tier 2 bot lane tower. That's a lot of gold.
Sure is. Now maybe Jax's turn to go back to base and buy a full item. Got the kill as well, and 2 turrets, I believe.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Oh,
I
that's a
think
Barret
s-
start. And there is, oh, he did buy his third item, the Jax did, but do they know? It looks like they do know. They're moving over.
They do know.
Where is Notoriety? He's not close enough. This Baron has just gone to Maokai ultimate as well, just to guarantee it. Very clean. Summon Poopsock has just walked in. Oh, but the Feather Storm is there, but the Rakan already down. And look at Maj and Saren. Look at how safe these guys are. Denial's here. He flashes in, gets on top of Maj, but he's still alive. How is the Way alive again? They just can't kill him, no matter what they do. Saren with another arcane
gonna live
shift.
too, isn't he?
Gets away from the Jax. Oh, Big Sugar.
Sugar's
oh,
dies.
he just dies to the Way dot again there. And Caxi is just like 1v1ing a Jax right now. It is going to be Maj who comes back over and finishes off Denial with one more skill shot. That is going to be the Baron plus the 5-for-1 team fight for Omega. That feels like it may have been the backbreaker and the season ender for the Spire Storm.
Oh yeah, that's definitely a way for your season to finish. Maj is just living by these like thin margins over and over and over and over again, right? It's like if people had another long sword, he'd be dead. I think he lived that fight on like 40 HP or something. It's insane.
Yeah. Thin margins, but in the end, Maj stays upright. And Omega looking for a 3-0 in their first playoff match of the season. So very close now, they can taste it. Mid inhibitor already exposed as they move in, waiting for Saren to group back up with the team before they really start to push in towards the base.
That's a frozen heart now on Ezreal. Okay.
Yeah, I thought he was hard to kill before.
Guess we're scared of Jax. Yeah.
Yeah, even more difficult to kill now. And Denial is the main threat, right? He is the one diving towards the backline that is getting so close to getting these kills. So I think that is a very intelligent purchase for Mr. Saren. It also synergizes with your Muramana, right? You get more damage from the extra mana of the Frozen Heart.
Ah, you're thinking. It's a Rise item. I see.
Oh, yeah. And this is going to be a Soul Point as well. I mean, it feels a little bit gratuitous for Omega. I think you just siege with Baron probably would have been the better play here, but I guess going for Dragon is the safer line.
Yeah, I feel like if you just shoot these people with Maj, they're gonna die. He seems to be doing quite a bit of damage with this double burn and 2 needlessly large rods in his inventory.
It is a extreme amount of damage that is coming out from these 2 carries. Mid inhibitor will fall. First Acacia stats are going to be a Dredge line going in. Skyline is fair connect as well. On to Denial, who once again tries to jump forward. They do manage to get on top of Maj again, but the Maokai Brambles has to push them. Finally, they do kill the Way. Saren, that Poopsock, a decent flash to get the Blade Collar onto the Ezreal, but now he has a whole bunch of armor. And he just will not be killed. Big Sugar not able to do the damage that is needed. The Mystic Shot not quite going to be in range to take down Denial. But still, it's another decisive team fight win for Omega Gaming as they push in, look to close this one out. Denial trying to clear the minion wave.
And shouldn't they?
They've lost the Baron buff. The Baron has timed out, but Denial has also timed out. And now it is only Big Sugar on the Ahri, who, I don't know, I mean, they're not Baron minions anymore. Maybe you can wave clear this. You've got Strawberry Frog here as well. It is a super minion. The farm on to Saren? Oh, no, he's fine. Yeah, no, he's still fine.
Yeah, just E.
Getting all worked up for nothing.
Yep. Well, the bot lane tower is still up, and so is... Never mind. Your bot lane, your bot and top inhibs are both still up, importantly. It is just the mid lane inhib that's gone down, so... That's just kind of more farm to hopefully funnel into your team if you're able to keep stalling this out.
I suppose.
Jax is building a wit's end, I guess.
Yeah, I guess that is probably what that is. A good amount of magic damage.
Yeah.
And attack speed is nice.
Yeah, I guess. I just feel like maybe we need to... I mean, I guess at this point you can't split push anymore. Your base is gone, right? So that's fair.
It's tough. Perspicacia is just gonna move on over here, prevent this
Yep.
minion wave from getting pushed too far out. As you know, Omega, this is kind of a consistent theme. I feel like that we've been seeing tonight is, they've consistently been putting themselves in these extremely advantaged game states, but
Yeah.
the closeouts have not really been that decisive. These
No.
games have dragged out a bit. Omega
Yeah.
don't really seem to have very much of a killer instinct in these situations.
First is not going to win this, is he?
He shouldn't. He does have to flash, get away from that counter strike, and now they're just still going at it. Q3 not going to land there. That counter strike will be dodged away from again, though. He's not having a hard time finding the CC on Cassante, and ultimately Perspicacia doesn't need to win. He just needs to distract Denial while the base is being taken. Boopsock with the Feather Storm, not going to get him away to safety. Nexus turrets now under fire. The Glacial Prison connecting onto Caxi. They're just trying desperately to clear out these minions once again, but the damage from the way is just disgusting. A triple kill to close it out, and Omega will secure a 3-0 victory in their first match of the postseason.
Wow. Good for them. I don't know. The Spire's problems just seem to compound for them over and over and over, right? Like, we just need notoriety to go top lane and gank, and he went top lane, and instead of ganking, he went to try and clear the enemy blue buff and grump that had already been taken.
Yeah, I mean, he did eventually figure it out in this game, right?
But like, yeah, it just felt like that, and it was like, our bot lane just needs to try and like be safe and not like die and things like that, and then they just died over and over again. I don't know. Do you think Omega's looking good enough that they're going to be able to take whoever wins out of this upcoming match? Or, well, okay, I'm just gonna say it. Do you think they're going to be able to beat Dorado? Because I don't think the literal monkeys are going to be able to beat Dorado.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm really
Yeah.
not sure. I'm really not sure. The interesting thing about that matchup, assuming if it is going to be Omega versus Dorado, we were kind of talking earlier on OT about how Dorado is kind of one of those teams that thrives in the chaos, right? Where they really like
Yeah.
to make games messy and make it scrappy and kind of go for these hands diff outplays. And I do feel like Omega is not really that at all, right? Like they're a very
No.
calculated team. They're a very kind of cautious team that likes to play around their carries and play very deliberately for team fights and objectives. And it's going to be a really interesting clash of styles. I I think Omega can win. Honestly, in competitive like this, in 5v5 play, I feel like Omega's strategy should be stronger, theoretically,
Mhm.
right? If teams
Right.
are of equal skill, the team that is better coordinated and focuses more on objectives should win the game. But it's just going to come down to if Omega can like get through the laning phase against Dorado, and if they can play well enough in these team fights, because I do feel like Omega are not going to have as much space as they got in this match against the Spire. I mean, you were kind of just touching on it as well, how like the Spire weren't really playing heavily towards their win conditions in a way that they needed to make this series more competitive, right? I think Dorado will be a little bit more competitive in that regard. But honestly, I think Omega could definitely win that matchup if they're playing decently well. I feel like I've seen enough from them at this point where if as long as they're able to like not get hard outplayed in the fights, I think they could do it.
Okay. Well, I mean, we'll have to wait and see. Assuming even there is the matchup tomorrow to see if the literal monkeys are able to take over and beat Dorado, the kind of odds-on favorites for most of us on Otter Talk. A lot of us predicting that series tomorrow might just even be a 3-0. Do you want to close it out? I think Maj just gets POG, right?
Yeah, I think you're right. I think it does have to be Mash. Saren actually had a great game on that mid Ezreal
Yeah.
as well. We were pretty
Yeah.
skeptical about that. Um, he got his 2 items and he was doing the numbers. He was contributing, no doubt about it.
Yeah. But just a great series for Maj, just overall. Picking up 2 POGs. Saren as well, also playing well. Got a POG last game and should be considered for it this game. Omega had a great showing this game. I think they're a team that's worthy of respect for sure in the playoffs. We'll just have to see how far they're able to take this run. You want to just close this out, Crewman, for the end?
Yeah, sounds good. A little bit of a shame that we did get the 3-0 tonight. Would have been, well, I mean, you have your gambling to get to, obviously, Storm.
Yeah.
But the Spire, commiserations to them. Hoping to see them come back stronger next season in Premier, and I assume they're going to be participating in the Emerald League as well when that does come around. Congratulations to Omega picking up the 3-0 victory here. Definitely well deserved. I definitely think we saw some really good stuff from them tonight. So good looks there. Looking forward to see how they do next week. Don't forget, guys, we just mentioned it, but tomorrow we do have the other lower bracket match that is going to be Dorado up against the Monkeys. Dorado pretty heavily favored, but if the Monkeys make the upset happen, you definitely want to be there for it, okay? So don't miss that one. For myself, from Storm, from Wookie, and the entire team here at Blue Water, thank you everybody very much for watching, and we will see you next time. Have a great night.
Night.